this show this week because like I always feel like when I miss it, I'm like, Chris is gonna be so mad at me, dude. Like,
No, I'm never mad.
So bad.
No, I'm never mad. It's just like it's kind of rough, man. When you're trying to do it by yourself, it's probably
No, man, I get it, dude. Like one of these days, like I kind of just want to do it by myself just to see if I can.
Right. I mean, yeah, dude. It's scary, but yet it's so cool having the people that we have in the comment section, all the people that are out there supporting us. Like they always like they make it so fun and so easy to fucking come in here and do this thing every week.
Yeah, dude. I'm about it, dude.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun day. It's gonna be a fun day. Man. A lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, dude. I'm just glad, dude. You know, plus we have plenty to talk about since like the last time I was here.
Mm-hmm. Most stuff. Let's get it, baby.
Yes.
What is up? Welcome back. It is Sunday night. You're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I'm here with the gang. We're all here. They don't really like me too much, but I'm here with Trigger too, my co-host for the most. What's up, bro? How's it going?
What's going on, man?
A long time.
How's it going?
Just here playing baseball with the homies, man. You know what I mean? Just this guy's sore loser back here, man. This chick's been eyeballing me all day. He's not liking it.
No, dude, he's gonna fucking break your neck or whatever, or get his ass beat like he does in every movie.
Yeah, man, real weird. He took me into the woods once and gave me a piggyback ride and just took off running. And I was like, damn, dude, like I'm about to shit all over you, man.
I thought it was tripping balls, dude. He kept sparkling the whole time.
He kept sparkling the whole time, baby. What's up, brother? How's it going?
Good, man. Good, dude. Man, honestly, man, I'm glad that I'm here this week. Last week, I unfortunately had a last minute call in, and so I had to double at work. So, you know, I was there all day, and you know, I'm made money. But still, dude, I was kind of just because I was really excited, man. I'm like, that was gonna be the penguin talk, and I was just like, fuck, man, and like, you know, I was a little salty about that.
So I took yours and Brian's lead on this, and you guys told me that the Penguin show is a must watch. So as soon as the season finale came to an end, I was like, I got to do my due diligence. You know, I'm gonna jump in and watch the whole thing, and I was not disappointed, my man. That show was fantastic. It was really good.
Yeah, were you watch it and you're like, okay, I see where everyone's dick riding. You know, I see 100%. The hype.
100%. I was there, and I was like, it was probably after. Well, fuck, I want to say just after the first episode. It was, and then we are so
real again, dude.
Yeah,
real again.
Real fucking
like heavy. Yeah, that's definitely one of those where you're kind of like, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, okay. And I was like, I gotta watch this now. Everyone, the care and the writing, every character had such good development. Like the people you hated. The people you loved. The people you felt for, like I think the writers did an amazing job.
Dude, but, even Kristen Milioti, you know, the girl who, you know, the girl who plays Sophia, right? You know, a lot of people know her from the mother in How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah,
and like that's how I know her. So for me, seeing her like that, I'm kind of just like, no fucking way, bro. Like, that's dude, her. Yeah, dude, and it just gets you, bro. Like it 100% gets you. True. And honestly, like with the way that it ended, and it didn't end the way that I thought it was going to, because with as many deaths and as many like endings that happened in the finale, I was just like, bro, this is, I guess, like the way that for comic book readers and, you know, like avid Batman readers and stuff like that, Sophia, you know, Sophia is the Hangman, right? That's why they call her the Hangman. She is the Hangman, and in all of her stories, she dies. and the way that she dies specifically, and they kept to it in Gotham, the Gotham show, and they got it right, was she shot in the head. Yep. And so that's why I was just like, okay, dude, like, you know, Penguin's gonna plug her, and like that's gonna be it, dude. Comic accurate, you know. Death, right? They've been getting a lot of other things. I'm not gonna say comic book accurate, but comic book accurate as per like the feel, the vibe, the like the noir of
feel. Yeah, that's what I got from it.
You know, of the noir of the underground, right? It's one of those things where like Batman doesn't really fuck with the underground too much. Like he does when y'all are making too much noise.
Yeah, that's a good
point. Like when y'all are making a little too much noise, then he's kind of like, hey, that's enough.
You got to come in and give him a spanking, dude.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think he just knows that it needs to be like a thing.
A
pressure cooker, right? It's that little steam thing that's like Like if he's constantly like beating down these criminals and doing this stuff, it becomes like a very totalitarian kind of like it turns into the dark.
Well, even then, dude, you know, you remember like you remember how in the Christopher Nolan, you know, like movies, it was kind of like the guy was going to go buy drugs and stuff like that, but he saw the bat signal and he was kind of like, nah, not tonight.
Yeah, he's like, not tonight.
And he's like, bro, like, are you superstitious? You have a better chance of winning the lottery than fucking seeing this guy tonight. And, you know, it didn't matter. You know, like sometimes just him being out and about is kind of enough to deter it. Yeah. So, but like, nonetheless, like it was one of those where you're like, dude, this is good, bro.
It was a fucking awesome. What do they call it? Like a character analysis or like a psych. Like it's like a character. You're like deconstructing the character's personality, like from the base down. Mm-hmm. It was a great character study. It was a great character study for the Penguin. Like it was almost like they gave the opportunity. It was literally a 360-degree of what the guy that made the fucking Joker movie should have done. Yeah. Like this is what he should have done. Instead of it being where he was like, nah, like I'm going to be kind of artsy about it, or I'm going to do this and that. Like he should have just done this and done like a super deep psychological comic detective story deep dive. Mm-hmm. And that's literally what this was. Like there was no perspective of Batman. There was no like there was the thing at the very, very end when he's just doing the dance with the girlfriend or whatever, like, and then you finally see something.
And Selena Kyle and the Selena Kyle, you know, envelope.
Yeah, or the reference to Selena Kyle. It's super, super small. There was no there wasn't even like a Commissioner Gordon reference, which is what freaked the fuck out of me, dude. I was like, yo, where's Commissioner fucking Gordon? This dude should be here somewhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like he should be at least talked about or whatnot, but there was still like, you know, good references to the Matt Reeves movie itself. But like, yeah, like it takes apart the character of the Gotham underworld from the Batman movie. Cause I guess like the idea is like, well, you got enough superhero antics in that story. Now we're going to take you to like the very basics of just what people do. I need to make it very relative.
Dude,
so that way
but it worked.
Oh,
like it was one of those where like every episode you're kind of like, but don't you think you want to put in this already? Don't you think you want to reference this already? And then finally you get your reveals last episode towards the very end. And yes, I know, but like it was one of those things where you're like, dude, it worked, and you fed into it, and you kind of and it was one of those where I was so happy, so happy to like see the fact that you could give a concise story without needing the like movie to give you perspective.
Yeah, true that. You don't need it to carry you. Yeah, you don't need the movie to carry you into the next like step. Everything about this was like, I think me and Brian talked about this, like, I want to say like 2 weeks or when Brian was last on, where he was like, I don't really care to see a Joker like story too much because I already know who the Joker is. Yeah. But don't you feel like the way that they did this would give you like the definitive idea of like who the Joker really needs to be? Like this would break down.
No. And I say that because I think Oswald Cobblepot is a very, very interesting character all on his own.
Okay.
And there are times where, yeah, like especially coming out of this show and being a comic book fan, you're kind of like, man, dude, where are the fucking Penguin comics? You know, like where are the good Penguin stories?
Yep.
And like, you know, like it kind of makes you want to reread some old good, you know, like Penguin comics and shit. And so I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is what's up, dude. And I'm good, man, because like you always get a fucking Joker origin or Joker like tie-in, or Joker's got, you know, his hand firmly around Batman's nuts. Like, dude, we got it.
Yeah, true that.
You know, like he's always on his fucking mind. Cool, dude. Like it's good. But like with Oswald Cobblepot, the last time you got something this in depth was during the Gotham show.
Yeah, even on in the Harley Quinn story and the Suicide Squad animations, they do really good by using the Penguin as like this very overarching like mob boss. You know what I mean? That doesn't get a lot of explanation because the only thing we got during the show is what, like Danny DeVito's, right?
Yeah,
like that's the only
live action one that we got.
Live action representation of that we got. What's up, Miguel? Man, good to see you, my dude. But yeah, like I don't know, like it's Matt Reeves has done a fantastic job with the Riddler, minus the fact that I think he wanted to implement like that whole like the social media thing was a little too much for his character. I think for what it was at first, where he was
like, honestly, like I liked it, but the reason that I liked it was because like he's the kind of guy who would do that, right? Would use all the tools in his in his arsenal for it.
I 100% agree. I think he used it because he was like, hey, people get this guy. People get this this kind of like what is it? This kind of they get this reference, right? They get this reference where like, okay, this dude, he's very out there with the idea of being like this freedom fighter / someone that's against like the government or the bigger machine. Let's use like the concept of what's going on in our real world with it, with social media and all this stuff. I just feel like in the time, like I feel like in the story of like Gotham, like the overarching story, they never really touched base on the idea of them using the internet for anything. Like you don't even know if like people even use cell phones too much, because the Gotham series and all that stuff, they never really they never show anything like that. Like when was the last time you saw a cell phone in Gotham or in the Penguin series?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? It's like a time frame thing, right?
Oz was on it.
Oh, he picked it up from the kid, right?
Yeah, he's always on it.
All about social media and stuff. Because okay, well, even with that, right? The idea was, since that kid was like a younger person, like he was doing like lives and TikToks and all that stuff, and he was like, "The fuck is this?" You know what I mean? Like he didn't really know, but he understood it, right? So like with the Riddler, I guess, yeah. Like I mean, they're working it in there, I guess. But to me, I just felt like it was a little much. They could have probably done it a different way, but for what it's worth, that's the opportunity they went with, and it worked. It worked for that moment. The thing is like yeah, like the way that he made the Riddler was such an interesting take on a character that we've known and loved since we were children. And he's always been like this silly, like out of pocket Joker, kind of like a ringleader with a cane dancing around. Very Jim Carrey, right? I think Jim Carrey's Riddler was probably like,
I thought his was like I'm not gonna say the best.
I think he was the best, dude. Dynamically, he was the best. Oh my man!
Yeah,
what do we got, boy? Brian just jumps in the chat.
He's like, "Fuck it, I'll jump in." Let me holler at you right quick.
You guys gotta wake it up. You guys have put me to fucking sleep, man. First off, that show was fucking amazing. You guys,
that's amazing. Yeah,
dude, 100%. You and I both know that. You and I were like on this show since day one.
Explain to me. Like I get everything you guys are saying, and I just got home right now. Like I literally just like rushed in right now just so I can talk shit. How is there a huge fucking explosion? Now, mind you, when we watched the Batman, right, and you had all those low level criminals scared to death of this guy because at any time he can pop out and beat the shit out of you. Yep. So there's a huge explosion in the downtown fucking Gotham. And there's no Batman. Explain that.
Oh, I just Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent point. I just think that they left him out on purpose. But I do understand the Falcones and the Maroney family, literally bodies fucking laying in the middle of the fucking
Guys are
front
getting
yard
ran
of the
over
fucking
by
place.
cars and fucking just shootouts all over the place. And there's
Batman is not
for me, the one thing that fucked with me is the fact that like you're gonna tell me that every head of every major criminal organization is dying and he's not anywhere near with that.
Yeah, not only that, but there's a full blown fucking war between Oz and every other fucking mafia that's running around. He's literally in coordinating with every other under mob boss in the city, and there's no interference whatsoever. They're just able to.
true.
I get it. It makes a good story. It makes for whatever's going to happen in the future, but that's a little unrealistic.
Hey man, I think Biggie's got it. He's like, bro, this is because he's gonna take care of business in Batman 2, dog.
Mm-hmm. I think 100%. I mean, even in the possibility of it, if we're still working on the concept of Batman year one, he still has to go do more training to get better. And we saw in the first movie that he made a lot of mistakes, like a lot of mistakes as a beginner.
Dude, what if he's training with Roz right now or some shit?
I mean, there could be a million things that Matt Reeves as a writer can be coming off with and being like, oh, like maybe even Batman knew what was going on, but like he couldn't really see like the undermining work that the Penguin himself was doing, Oz Cobblepot, because he wasn't really like into it as much. I mean, even in the factory, you know what would have been cool is if they would have done the Batman undercover character that he always does. What's the name of the character he does?
Oh, dude, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Batman has like this persona of like almost like Moon Knight, like when he goes to like the bars to get information. Like,
yeah, but it's
cool if he was like just in
he plays a mob guy. His alter ego is like an actual like mafioso. Yeah.
So it would have been cool if we would have gotten like maybe like in the rally of like all the villains when they were doing like their table talks or something, like Batman, Robert Patterson was there in the background with like a golfer's hat or something, like undercover.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of interesting.
Dude, there you go. That's Robert Pattinson, you know, with his horrible.
Right, that's why I wanted to see Batman.
That's his look.
Yeah. So Brian, I got to see the Penguin through and through. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a really, really great show.
Did it live up to the hype that me and Brian gave it? That's the real question.
Yes, 100%. I think it's a must watch if you're a Batman fan in general. Like again, DC has been very desaturated with content. We got some James Gunn information about the movies and stuff off of a podcast he did, but we haven't gotten anything from DC in a while. And I think the Penguin show is some of the best stuff that they've put out in like a very long time, considering like Peacemaker. Like being that it's like more of a comedy hit, I think Penguin is probably the best thing that they put out live action in a very, very long time.
Peacemaker finally had like a little teaser. Do you guys see that? You know, the little couple second teaser with some Peacemaker season 2 shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought Peacemaker, and then James Gunn came out in an interview or something like that in a podcast saying that Peacemaker is canon with his new DC universe. Yeah. Of course he was going to save it. Come on, guys. We knew he was going to try to save it. It's his work. He doesn't want to shit on it.
I have a question real quick, just to stay on track about Penguin before we just derail and shit. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that show, The Penguin, was good because or great because it was just a great show, or because it was a lot better than we thought it was going? Because nobody was looking forward to that show. It just ended up being a fucking banger. Like, do you think that?
Yeah, it ended up being a banger. In my opinion, I think the show was good. I think it was great. I think it fixed a lot of what the Batman movie made mistakes on, which was the pacing. Like that's 100%. The movie, The Batman, wasn't bad. It's just there was a lot of open air and a lot of gaps where they let like the music or the soundtrack take over. And I think they just missed that mark. But a lot of the talking points and a lot of the way that they wrote the script was very good. Falcone in that one was great. The actors were good. The Selena Kyle story was really good. Alfred.
I think John Strong was like a great choice. Awesome, like for Joe Turturro's like stand-in with that.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
But to answer your question, Brian, and I think a little bit more concise than Chris was, I liked the show because it had just fantastic writing. This was some of the best written shit I've seen in a minute. And it checks a lot of my boxes for shows that keep me engaged and keep me like, okay, what time does it drop? Because usually I'll just see it and it's like, okay, like I'll see it when it comes out and like I'll see it that day. But like this one was like, what time is it dropping? Okay, it's dropping at this time. Sick. As soon as like I'm done with the show, don't talk to me. I'm watching the Penguin. You know, and like
that's a good point.
Like The Last of Us is gonna have me with that, you know, this next season.
I think that I definitely agree with you, to be honest, but I often wonder while I'm watching the show, because I didn't really necessarily like the Batman. It was cool, but it didn't have.
It's a rewatch movie. I think it's one of those you need more than one watch for it to like be like, okay, you know what? I kind of fuck with this a little bit. It's not like one of those where I was like, oh my god, this is fucking cinema.
I rewatched it and I didn't like it any more than I did the first time. But being that there were mixed reactions from that movie, it didn't really have people like, oh my god, what the fuck is next for
yeah, no, I 100% agree.
So that's what I'm saying. So when it came to this show, nobody was really high on it. Nobody was anticipating it. It was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be another show that we'll watch, you know, just because we watched the movie. But then it ended up being really fucking good. So I was wondering, because a lot of people have been asking, it's like, how much is it that, you know, it was just that good, or which just ended up being better than we expected it to be? So now we're putting it in a higher. Because what if it was what if the Batman was a total across the board banger and we were just anticipating the next iteration of this story, and then this was highly anticipated? Would you still feel the same way about it?
If it had maintained the same kind of style of if it had like had the writing and had the same pacing as this show, my hype for it may not have been quite as high. I mean, because granted, I mean, like, you're not wrong. Like, I was like, when I was watching, or when I was being, you know, told about the Penguin, it wasn't one of those where like, I've got to watch this. If I don't watch this, I'm a fake fan or some shit, you know. But you know, you kind of go into it because you're kind of like, all right, well, like, let's see what you know, what Matt Reeves has got in the tank still, right? And then you watch the first episode, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Really good.
Okay. Got it, dude. I would like to think that yes, I would still have the exact same opinion of this show that I do right now if things were different with the Batman show, if it had been better.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it was one of those things. I just think that they did just a phenomenal job on this character. Like, overall, I think that the pacing of the characters, the writing that they brought in, everything about it was like over the top, easily one of the best, like I said, live actions that we got going on for a Batman flick. And again, like, if they were to do something like this with the Joker, I think it'd be pretty good, man. I think it'd be one of those things where like, I think it'd be a good character study. That's kind of like what I like about this, is that the Batman Rogue Gallery has always been this. It's like the Flash's Rogue Gallery. There's something about it that kind of always makes it to where like, you have to kind of be more understanding. That's why Batman doesn't want to send him to jail. He sends them to Arkham, is because they're all psychologically damaged in some way. And this was a very good case study that the Penguin is very close to that mobster hitman in history that's called the Iceman. I don't know if you guys remember that documentary. Brian, I know you love documentaries. What's up, Ham? Good to see you, my man. I know you like documentaries.
I know who the Iceman is.
This dude used to like be a hitman for the mob. He used to kill people and then go, you know, tuck his children in at night. And he used to talk about how he just had there was nothing in his brain that psychologically told him he could or couldn't do something. Like, he wasn't afraid of consequence, nor was he afraid of, or nor did he value anything in general. He loved things. It's like Mike Tyson, right? Like Mike Tyson when he was younger, like he just thought he was immortal or that he could do anything he wanted. But
but on top of that, he was like, dude, this is business. Like, I'm not killing you because I hate you. You know, I'm just doing this because I was told to. Like, you are just, you know, yes, Neener.
So like that idea of like when Penguin would get mad and he would lash out and do something that was like out of pocket, was like the perfect example to show you like why this person can be separated as some type of supervillain compared to the other mob guys that are just doing it strictly based on business. Like when this dude pops, like he goes fucking crazy. Even the season finale, right at the very, very end with him and Victor, when they're sitting down and he does what he does. I don't really want to spoil it unless you guys don't mind spoiler talk, but like what he does to Victor at the end, you know what I mean? That was like that was crazy, bro. Like I didn't see that coming in that.
Dude, for me, it was the ID throw. Like when he picks up his ID and he just throws it in the river. Yeah. I was kind of like, oh man.
Yeah, dude, because he did. The kid that played Victor played such a phenomenal job. He did such a great job. I'm fidgeting with my shit right now because I'm trying to get this background to work for me because I really thought it was funny. There we go. Yeah, I want this guy looking at me in the back like I'm a piece of shit. So, yay, I got Oswald.
I'm gonna fucking do you next.
Yeah, what you fucking do, man?
Yeah, so, Brian, dude, but Brian, you can definitely hear that Robert De Niro in his voice, though.
Oh, dude.
Right?
Yeah, dude, it was so fucking good, man. Brian, for you, man. So I was telling Trigger this before the show, and it's like in the comic books and in the animated series, the Falcone and the Maroni family play such a prolific part in the storytelling. So like when crime things happen, those two families are always at the forefront, with the heads always being the most important. Falcone and all these guys. Like in this TV show, there's constant like takeouts of all the heads of the families. Like almost like every other episode, there's like a head member dying. Like with them destroying the Falcones, and then Sophia's character changing it to what did she change it to? What was the name of this? The mom?
The Gigante.
The Gigantes, right? Like, do you feel like that does anything for like assets in the storytelling to keep them there for the Batman universe in the story in the DCU?
Well, the Falcons are pretty much all dead. So.
Yeah, they're all dead. Brian, what about you, man? What do you think?
I'm trying to understand what you're asking me. What is it that you're asking me?
Yeah, because so throughout comic book history and the DC in the Detective Comics, the Falcones and the Maroni families have always been very prolific. Like they're the ones from the Hush comics, the Longest Halloween, the Two-Face comic books. All of them consist of the Falcone and the Maroni families in some way. They're always like the mud that holds the enemy universe together in the Batman universe. Like they're the ones at the very base foundation. Like when you have crime, it's those two families, and then it goes upwards. Like then you have like your madmen and your super villains and all this other stuff.
Okay, I got that part. Yeah. What are you asking me?
Now in the Penguin series, you see that they just get obliterated, dude. Like there's practically no more of the families left. Like, do you think that this changes the dynamic of assets for the Gotham universe coming into the DCEU?
Not really, because they weren't a part of that Matt Reeves universe before this show. It was, I mean, except for the head, and you know, we got a little bit more into it, but they're all dead. So I'm not.
Yeah,
like, they're all gone. So like, what is it to look forward to? Except for
everyone's fucking gone, dude.
Everyone's gone. Yeah, so there's nothing to look forward to except for, you know, the
villains,
the actual rogues gallery. You know
what I'm talking about, right? Like you see where that's kind of like it's a little weird.
Yeah, but honestly, the only story that I could see us getting from a Matt Reeves story where those families would play any actual or give any actual substance to would be like a Court of Owls like story.
Yep, that's a good point.
Past that, not really. Like they if Joker came in and he was like, I'm gonna run a criminal enterprise, the Falcones and Maronis would be like, hey, you can't do that, and he'd be like, I'll like kill your children. Go away.
There's no more Maronis. They're basically
they're all gone.
And the Falcones are dead, and she's not even taking on that last name. It's the Gigantes now. So they basically open, grand opening, grand closing for both of those families. So there's nothing really to look forward to moving forward.
And Trigger even said this off camera, which made some cool sense, which was like, what are the odds that someone just comes up through the ranks and claims the name again? Like, you know what I mean? Like if someone like one of the lieutenants or one of the other uncles or the mob bosses,
that's like literally the only way we're gonna get the only way we're gonna get a resurgence of that, if that, or it's like another cousin situation or some shit.
But the only I mean that would honestly, I would leave that for like a show. That doesn't need to be in like a Batman movie or anything. I agree. Like that.
I 100% agree. I would rather keep it within the Penguin-esque universe or whatever than whatever the fuck.
I'd rather you dive into one of the bigger villains than take time away from that and give me some random cousin that just came out of nowhere and now wants to be the head of the or Falcone family.
Yeah, because 100%, we still have like the Rogues Gallery that they can base on, and being that they were able to do this with the Penguin on like a 7 series or 8 episode series, a movie would be fantastic, especially with the world building that they're doing in the show. The only thing that I would say, like, it kind of like, they would have to adapt it to would be like, I would love to see The Longest Halloween. Like, I mean, we got like little bits and pieces of it based on like the Christopher Nolan Two-Face story. Like they did touch base on a little bit of it, being that they were doing the whole like what is it? Was he after the Falcones? I think it was the Falcones in the Christopher Nolan story. Two-Face was trying to put them all in jail and all this stuff for Maroni, right?
Yeah.
No, it was both. It was both.
Yeah, and then you had those situations like in the car with Two-Face going after the crime boss. You had all the trial and the jury with all the henchmen and the whole like build up for Harvey Dent. Like, there are those like very, very like low level storytelling that do help build the character's backstory for the Harvey Dent character. I think the Harvey Dent character could be an awesome addition to like this kind of storytelling. Like if you were to do a Harvey Dent to Two-Face series like this, my God, dude, like if they did it with the Penguin, fucking Two-Face, that would be legit to me.
But to do it with the Long Halloween, that'd be sad.
Because that's a really long story too, man.
So does this show, does it make you anticipate looking forward to this next movie?
Does it what? I can hear you. You're kind of low.
Does it give you hype for the next movie?
Oh, dude, 100%. Fuck yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like I said, like with this type of storytelling, since it's a great character development and breakdown psychological of what the character does and doesn't do, like that makes him different from everyone else. Because before this, when watching the Christopher Reeve story, I thought the Penguin sucked. Like, I just thought he was just a low down, fat, ugly guy that just like was just a bitch, which I mean, yeah, that's kind of what the Penguin is. But when you break it down, that he has like this whole psychological issue that literally just turns him into like the worst villain to have in like a rogues gallery, in the sense of like being a mobster. Like this is like the mobster's worst villain. Like this is like, for Batman, he just knows, I got to stop this guy because he's evil. You know what I mean? He's just an evil person. He's like a Jeffrey Dahmer kind of guy. But like the mob, they want to try to like utilize a guy like this. And if they don't do it right, like he just snaps and goes crazy, which is what they showed. And I think it was a fantastic way to tell the story of the Penguin. Like fantastic. If you told me they were going to do a Joker series like this, I'd be about it too, man. But it's like, I understand where a lot of people are saying, it's like, well, we already know the Joker. Like, and to me, it's like, I guess like now we know that Lady Gaga controls him. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole generation of people that don't truly know like the comic book reader's idea of what the Joker is. And I think a storytelling like this would be great. Okay, but let me ask you guys, fuck all that noise. If you could get your character now after the Penguin is done, like if you could get your character done in this format, like in the series, like who would it be?
Literally anyone out of the room besides other than Joker.
Yeah. No, honestly, Mr. Freeze. Right? No, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I think fuck, that's my call, man, Mr. Freeze. Yeah, Brian, what about you? I think last week or a couple weeks ago we talked about it too, and you said Victor Zsasz, right?
Yeah, Victor Zsasz would probably be my thing, but I also think like I've been watching a whole bunch of other people's stuff, and there's theories about who we're gonna get. Like Mr. Freeze is one of them. The Court of Owls is another one. So there's a lot of things that can possibly happen that I would rather than you giving me another a Joker show. But I have a question though, because it's leading off of, when I was asking about the anticipation for the movie, Matt Reeves just recently had an interview where he was explaining, because a lot of people were kind of questioning where was the Batman during this show, and he kind of gave an answer. You guys are aware of what he said?
What did he say, man?
He basically said that he's depressed, more or less. Batman is depressed. He's depressed. This show takes place a week after
the debacle, right? The whole shit from the Riddler movie.
Of the movie. And so he's just in deep depression. He blames himself for a lot, and he's just going through it mentally. So he's just nowhere to be found. What do you think about that?
All right. I mean, because I said the same thing about Commissioner Gordon. Like, where the fuck is Commissioner Gordon at? Like, there's literally a giant, it's like Trig said, it's like a giant gang war going on in the city, and then, for fuck's sakes, 1 million bodies, and then the two biggest crime families in the city are literally like dying by the troves. And then in the last episode, a giant fucking explosion happens underground that literally caves in like a whole city block. I mean, I understand Batman's depressed. I mean, wiping his tears with all his millions of dollars, but like, yo, if you took that mantle up, you got a job to do, bro. Like, people are waiting for you to come in and save the day or whatever.
Exactly.
And I think he just let this fucking people like run amok. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that there should have been maybe in the season finale, like the way that they did. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the War and Riddles, right? It was that the War and Jokes and Riddles. Was that what the name of the comic book series was? Was that where the Joker was fighting the Riddler and the Joker didn't have a smile anymore?
I know which one you're talking about, but yeah, I can't remember the story name.
Yeah, I think it's called the War of Jokes and Riddles. And what happens in that story is the Joker loses his smile, right? It sounds stupid as fuck, but that's like his whole shtick. So the Riddler ends up making this very elaborate joke using Kite Man as like the lackey that they're going to kill at the end. But in the process of this whole thing, it's literally like the perspectives of like the Joker as a crime boss and the Riddler as a crime boss versus each other. And then they just like in the background sprinkle in Batman for no reason. Like, he's not really like, it's not from his perspective or us as an audience watching what the Batman is doing to stop these guys. We're staying in the perspective of the villains, and through like some kind of like one or two offs, like Batman shows up and starts beating the fuck out of people, and then they escape, and then they go back to their mob shit. And it's a really cool storytelling aspect to be like a different vantage point of the storytelling. So like I really do enjoy, or I did enjoy what Matt Reeves did, where he did the format 100% from the villain's prospect or aspect, without it being without needing Batman to intervene in some different ways. It was just them handling their own shit.
I don't think it's a thing about needing Batman, but it's at the end of the day, it's still Batman's universe. It's still his show.
It's still his show, yeah.
It's still his thing. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be watching this Penguin show if it wasn't for Batman.
For Batman. Yeah, we wouldn't care about him.
Yeah, so I get it. I get what you're saying. And honestly, I think the show was great without him. But you still, for the people, there were a lot of people wondering where he was and wondering if we were going to see him. Like, you can't ignore that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's 100%. And I agree. I think at the end, the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes, and we kind of got that in a really funny format where like at the end when he's dancing with his mom and then the bat signal comes out and I'm like, day late, bitch. Like, you missed the explosion and everything else that just happened. But yeah, it goes to show like maybe he's, coming back to work, or Commissioner Gordon's back from his vacation or whatever, because even in format of it, like they could have at least had like Eckhart, but you know what? Didn't they have the female officer show up? The one that screws over Commissioner Gordon?
What?
Didn't she come, the Hispanic chick, right? The one that was on the payroll for one of the villains, but she gets killed, I think.
I don't remember that.
Neither do I.
The Batman show, a Batman movie, right? The Batman movie cop. Let me see if I can find her real quick. There was a girl that was the one. Was it the female?
But where did you see her in the show, though?
I want to say like she was in like the second or third episode. One of them, dude. Like, I don't know. I'd have to probably go back and watch it again. But I swear to God, I saw one of the police officers that was in reference to another character that had been on the show.
The only cop that I saw that was in the movie that was on the show was the guy who pulls up on Sophia. That was it.
And that was the dude that was the carpet guy, right? The one that showed Batman the carpet thing?
Yeah, or some shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say that there was at least like some kind of...
The only people that I know of that were from the movie was the cop that you guys are talking about that pulled up after the entire Falcone family died, and then the governor that got elected during the...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Movie.
Yeah.
Those are the only two people that were in the movie.
Right, yeah. I was about to say, I was like, dude, I don't know of anyone else in that show that came out in that movie.
Yeah, Mackenzie Brock. That's the name. Chief Mackenzie Brock. That's the guy that's in the film that comes in with him. So yeah, that would be the only one. I had thought I saw like another reference to another one, but like, I think it was a girl that looked like. Do you remember the Christopher Nolan story when the one that takes the girlfriend? Remember the two cops that screw him over that are tied into the Joker?
Yeah, when you were talking about that, I was like, are you talking about the fucking Chris Nolan film?
Yeah, that's what I think. I thought I saw that female cop actress in this story, but I probably was mistaken more than likely. I just
there you go, dude. Boom, Hyperion confirmed.
Hyperion confirmed, baby. Never forget it. But yeah, talking about this, the Penguin was a fantastic show. 10 out of 10 for me, man. Like, I thought it was really, really up there. Well, I mean, maybe like I guess like a high 9, right? Because again, like I thought the thing at the end with Victor was kind of weird. I thought it was okay, but weird at the same time.
What was weird about it?
Well, I mean, not that it's weird, because like I understand the concept where he's like, he understands at the very end that he loves this kid so much that he can't have him because he knows he's going to be a weakness, right? Like that's an easy trope. But I was telling Triggs before we jumped on that I literally thought he was going to use the kid as like a fall guy. Like I originally thought it was going to be like in the second episode, I was like, oh yeah, this kid's going to get screwed over so bad in the end. Like that was just something that clicked, right? Because I just knew the trope, but I just didn't think it was going to be like, nah, I'm just going to kill this fucking kid.
Well, that's why I loved it, to be honest with you. I gotta disagree with you. I gotta disagree with you on that. Only because this entire show you're rooting for. You're rooting for him the entire fucking. No matter what he does, no matter how bad he gets, you're rooting for him. So at that last your last opportunity to do something, you made him so despicable, so unredeemable that you can't root for him anymore. Now you want him to get fucked up and you want him to die after that. How do you do that? You let him kill Vic with his bare fucking hands, no less.
Yeah, he just choked him the fuck out.
Take his money, take his ID, and throw it in a river like it was nothing.
Yep. Yeah,
that is great. That is
that was street, man.
For me, it's a little bit different. I know what he's saying, but where I disagree, it's not the fact that you're rooting for him, but the show constantly reminds you, this dude's a piece of shit. Stop doing that. So like you see him and you're like you see him get fucked up and you're like, no, dude, like Penguin's gotta survive. And then he sets people on fire. And you're like, oh yeah, you're a huge piece of shit. Yeah. And then like things happen some more and things happen some more and you're kind of like, oh no, dude, like you gotta win, bro. You gotta win. Y'all, fuck yeah, dude, you won. No, I'm gonna kill this kid. Ah, dude, you really are a piece of shit. God damn it. And like I said, I think it's just a constant reminder not to forget. He's a piece of shit. Stop rooting for the dude.
Yeah, true. Brian,
that's the way I took it. I mean, everyone's got their own like.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, I get it, but up until the Vic thing, everyone that he killed, they kind of deserved it. They kind of were pieces of shit in their own right. They weren't good. The Maroney wife, I was kind of just like, dude, I don't know if I would have done her like that. She double-crossed him. She double-crossed him. Like she set him up and she tried to get him killed. So
to be fair, he did a lot of double crossing himself. So it's like one of those that like,
I'm saying, like you can't. They're both they're both assholes. They're both not good people.
That's also why I kind of just like lends to my credence. Like, hey man, don't forget he's a piece of shit.
So in that case, it's like, all right, well, you still want him to win because you want him to take over. But when you kill Vic with your bare, you could have just let him go. You could have just let him go to California with his girl and just told him to disappear. But he didn't. He killed him like cold-blooded, and then made it seem like he got robbed. Like that is some like I get it. Like he killed everyone leading up to this, but they all had it coming. This kid, like he would have like just the fact that he wouldn't have been anywhere without this kid. He would not have been as far as he has been if it wasn't for this kid. So we all grew attachment to him. Fuck us. We grew attachment to Vic. Like we wanted to see Vic win. We wanted to see him go on to the next iteration of whatever story is coming up. But now you took that away from us. That is some
that's true.
That is some cold-blooded shit. Like that to me is the worst of the worst, and there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, and that's what was good about the character study about this is it really shows you like how dark and how evil this Oswald Cobblepot guy really is in that universe. This is what separates him from being like a Maroni, like the way the Maroni character was, where he was like honorable, talking about where's your honor. Even his wife and his kid were like, you don't do that. In the families we don't cross that line. And this dude's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. Like, fuck your lines or whatever. We're here to do business, guys. Like, I don't give a fuck about that stuff. Like, even when he would talk about him, like the way he would just switch like sides on things was like, it was weird to me. Like, there was no like, there were very little times that Oswald Cobblepot in the story, like stood on his own business when someone defied him. Like in front of them talking, like, you know what I mean? Like when someone would come up and be like, nah, fuck you. That's not the right plan. He's like, all right, cool, man. Cool. We don't got to go that way. We'll go the other way. Yeah, fuck it. We'll go your way.
He's got to do whatever he's got to do. He's got to survive.
Yeah. He is like,
well, the only time he ever stood on business was with Albert, like if that was the thing, the only time he ever stood on business, he was like, I'm stupid.
Yeah. When he snaps, he snaps, and that's what I'm talking about. Like it shows like how crazy this motherfucker is. Where like everyone else is written in like this typical street kind of like mentality where there is like honor amongst thieves kind of stuff, and Oz's character just goes fucking above and beyond that, like in a whole different format. Just a great fucking character. Just overall, like I'm excited to see him like don the whole Penguin like persona like in the films now. Like I like the fact that they're pushing on like there's scenes where like his nose looks more pointier. There's scenes like I was telling Trigger, like when there's like a scene in the third or like second episode where he's like screaming at someone and it's like a close-up of his mouth, and like the just the look of the way that they designed his mouth, like for the what is it, like the effects, the makeup is very like Danny DeVito's Penguin, where like their spit, the teeth are weird, the lips look weird. Like it just looks very like more animalistic than human. And I just can't remember what episode it was, but I just remember seeing that. And then you had the top ad and you had like the purple color with the gold, giving like a lot of reminiscence back to the 60s Adam West Batman. Like there was just so many cool little Easter eggs that gave a lot of like love to the lore of this character. So like, yeah, I think the show is fantastic. It builds very good on the Matt Reeves universe. I hope James Gunn utilizes this universe completely because I think it's great. They just got to fix Batman, I guess, because like Batman isn't even this deep. You know what I mean? Like in the movie, it didn't even get this deep with him. So yeah, 100%, guys. If you haven't seen the Batman show, folks, what are you doing, man? You need to get your fucking ass to work, man. It's totally worth it, guys. Make sure you guys check it out.
Would you rather watch that show or Agatha?
Or what? Which other show?
This show or Agatha?
Oh, dude, what the fuck? Of course the Penguin. What the fuck? I wouldn't even waste my time with Agatha compared to this. Like Brian, Brian, I'll ask you that question because you had more of a connection to Agatha. You were watching it, you enjoyed it way more than I did. I watched it just for my due diligence, right? But like for yourself, you actually enjoyed the show. What would you consider, this show or Agatha?
I don't know. I like them both.
Well, I can't hear you. You gotta speak up.
Can you hear me?
You're a little bit low, brother.
Yeah. Hello?
You're still low, brother.
Can you hear him?
Barely, but only because like I have like my headset like kind of cranked.
Yeah, I can't hear you right now, Brian.
I'll fix it.
But oh, there he is. There he is. Brian? Oh no, we lost him. Okay.
Yeah, he probably just DC'd so he can come back in.
Yeah, he'll probably jump in a little bit. He's probably at home already. That'd be dope if he was. He could just jump right in. What about you, Triggs? I mean, I don't know. Did you ever watch Agatha?
I didn't. I have yet to watch Agatha. My Disney Plus is down right now, so I'm gonna have to get it all beat up, dude. You know, so
fine, dude. I got sites, baby. I got sites. I'm gonna send you.
Yeah. So like, I mean, if I want to go watch it, I can. I'm not like super duper worried about it. But still, nonetheless, dude, like I need to watch Agatha because it is an MCU project, right? And I should do my due diligence. I say the same thing for the what ifs, and I'm only gonna watch them because I have to, not because I want to. I've never liked the what if series. There are very, very few what if stories in the comic books that I actually gave a fuck about. And I care about the Marvel zombies even less. So for the people who don't like that about me, well,
isn't that crazy though? Like, I mean, being that the Marvel zombies, like, do you ever question that to be like, what's wrong with us? Like, what's wrong with our society where like comic book lovers don't really care too much about the Marvel zombies, but like anyone outside of comic books.
Well, here's the thing: when Marvel Zombies came out, it was a slap. Yeah, it was a slap. Like people were really, really fucking excited about that, and I get why. It wasn't bad. It just I wasn't the target audience. I don't know. I mean, like I don't know what to tell you. I love it so much. Yeah, dude. I mean, I wasn't the target audience, and then the moment that they started like. Yeah, that they killed Galactus and they could fly. I was like,
yeah, dude, come on, bro. You gotta
understand
that was the most stupidest shit on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no way that you could sell me on the fact that they're like, bro, let me tell you what happens.
Yeah,
they kill Celestials and they become multiversal beings.
Do you imagine how many other just beings in the world would be like, yo, you're saying all we got to do is eat Galactus and we can get cosmic powers? Bet. Fucking, what is it?
Dude, you're telling me the Annihilation
wave?
Dude.
Yeah. The Annihilation wave is like, oh shit, that's all it takes? Boom.
Yeah.
The scrolls. For real?
Yeah.
You just gotta eat this guy? I'll be a cannibal for 20 minutes, dude.
Yeah.
I can eat his
bitch ass over here.
Everybody else did and just go through the heel and go up top and just keep munching, man.
Yeah, I thought that was so fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah, I think everybody. Oh man, dude. I would like to like meet one person, just one person, to bring on the show. That was the best thing Marvel Zombies ever did.
Pete.
Yeah, if you're out there, please, we invite you. We just want to know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know.
Not that you're gonna sell me on it, but go for it, dude.
I mean, you're gonna spend 30 minutes talking to walls, bro, because there's no way you're gonna tell me that shit. Because it's so fucking weird. Like that was the dumbest shit. And then they instantly came back and they brought all those fucking characters. Remember, it was like they took like long ass hiatus. I think it was just one of those things they wanted to do the most like out of pocket shock shit that they're like, oh yeah, you know, Marvel Zombies. We don't.
Yeah, really dude. And you know how I know that it didn't matter? Because it wasn't in Secret Wars.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, there was nothing about the cosmic entity characters in Secret Wars. It was just the zombies themselves. Yeah. Like that's literally all it was that format of them being zombies was cool. I liked it later when they brought in this whole idea that you can like nullify the desire to want to be a zombie if you can control the eating part, right? Or the cannibalism, which is what they did with Spider-Man when they were like, oh, dude, we're going to send Peter Parker back in time and he's going to fix it. And then he fucking eats Mary Jane and Aunt May, and then Sandman's got to kill him. And that's when they realized like Sandman was this like do all end all character for zombies. I thought that was dope though, man. When they were like, dude, you can't eat sand, like you can't turn him, so he's just gonna blow up zombies. I was like, fuck, you're not wrong, dude. Like
you're telling me that the fucking B-list
Spider-Man villain is now S tier, dude. Yo, let's go. Let's fucking go. I was so drilled by that. I was like, God dang, that's so crazy. But
yeah, dude, like that's like telling me that fucking like Calendar Man is the reason that Batman can find peace or
even Condiment Man. That Batman has like a severe allergic reaction to mustard, and like this is the dude. like a guy that has ketchup and mustard as guns, like, and then he comes in and just wails on him. Like that would be a turn in the dark, dude. But yeah,
I would instantly stop watching.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, dude, I'm not supporting any more of that jazz. Dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. The Penguin Show, top notch. If you guys haven't seen it, HBO, Cinemax, whatever it is, the streaming series. If not, beat out that bitch Fire Stick. It is so worth it. It does add dynamically to the Batman movie. It's literally got a fire under me that I got to go back and rewatch the Batman movie. Like
dude, and that's what I did. You know, like I had watched the Batman movie and then watched Penguin like almost right after. So for me, it was like all still super fresh, right? You know, because I did the same thing with Bleach, like right before the Bleach anime, you know, had come back. And, you know, like I always try and do my due diligence that way, like the content itself is like really fresh. So like I'm still getting like, and like I don't at all mean to sound like super fucking weird about it, but that way I get like the same feel and I ride the same high with it. You know, that way if things change, I know that like, okay, these two dynamics are different in so and so. Because like, yeah, like when you watch the Batman movie, you're kind of like, okay, dude, like this is fine, this is cool, like it's very year one, this kid's a fucking idiot, and like, you know, then we see the show and you're like, Martin Scorsese, it's cinema, you know, cinema. And so like, yeah, dude, like that's all I got.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, it was good. It was a solid show. It was worth it, and I appreciate you guys telling me that I had to get my fucking ass to go watch it, because that was dope, dude. But yeah, onward to the next part of the conversation, my man. Trying to find a really cool picture, but I can't find it. But yeah, let me go ahead and switch this out because I'm going to get into our next talks. We have. Oh, here we go. Look, I can't flip it. That would be so cool if I could, but I can't. Here I am in the Doctor Strange Solitude building or whatever. Triggs, Fantastic Four finally released its first synopsis for the movie, the Fantastic Four. If you don't know, guys, the Fantastic Four film, being how big it is in the sense of talking points for the Marvel Universe, is coming out in 8 months. In 8 months, this is going to be coming out. So, Triggs, have you heard anything about the Fantastic Four yet?
I have not heard a lot, but my thing is that I'm trying to stay fresh with a lot of the upcoming MCU stuff, and I'm kind of getting back to my roots. Okay. I'm getting back to my roots with the whole, like, you know what, dude? I don't want to know anything coming in, right? In the day, like in the aspect of like everybody is like coming at the
I got Brian, baby.
All right, that everything is coming out with like leaks and shit like that. I kind of want to be a little bit fresh. Okay. And like learning a synopsis isn't bad, right? I want to know what this movie is about. Yeah, I want to know what the movie is about. But past that, I try not to like concentrate too much on like, you know, character leaks or fucking photo shoot leaks and, you know, reshoots and shit like that. It's, for me, I really, really want to try and stay as fresh as I can. And it almost comes down to like, that's like at the state where the MCU is. Like, to get the full experience of it, you almost just need to come into it absolutely fresh.
True that. Brian, what about yourself? Have you heard anything about the Fantastic Four film and thing that's going on or no?
Hell yeah, bro. I'm knee deep in the fucking leaks, bro. Fuck that, bro. I'm in all that shit. Now everything
that's like, and I get it, bro. Like there are some things that like I genuinely want to know about. Like for me, The Last of Us 2, I want like there are already people leaking that like Joel's gonna survive. Like he's gonna be in all of The Last of Us 2. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Joel. Yeah. That's straight up. But what have you heard so far, Brian?
I don't know how I feel about that. But Joel has to die, bro. He's got to die. Like that's
no, I don't want him to.
I don't want him to die.
That's what makes this whole. That's what makes the whole second. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but that makes the whole second story that much more better. Like like because he's dead. Like that's what makes the whole story great is that he's dead. But anyway, yeah, no, though I'm not gonna give away too much, but it's just it's gonna very heavily correlate to Doom and the multiverse and uh Tony always knowing that he was Doom, and it's a lot. It's a lot of what I heard, and from what I've heard, um, the Fantastic Four is they're gonna try and knock this one out the park. So get ready.
Do you feel like they have the pull for it, being that they're going to do it in such a quick format? They're going to be releasing it roughly around the same time that they released the Superman film. Like, do you think that this is going to be the film that comes up against it?
I don't think they're gonna have a choice. How are they? There's no getting around that. Like whenever James Gunn drops his Superman movie, that's what's gonna whatever Marvel movie is close to it is gonna be the movie that's gonna be pit against it.
Yeah, it's going to be the one
But
that has to stand.
yeah, but honestly, I don't Marvel. They don't have anything to worry about with DC, so I'm not worried about that. As long as Marvel continues to do stay on whatever track they're on right now, I think they'll be fine.
So what we got for IGN released a synopsis for the film, and the way it looks like it's being said is, let me read this out for you guys real quick. Set against the vibrant backdrop of a 1960s inspired retro futuristic world, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four: First Steps introduces Marvel's first family: Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal; Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Vanessa Kirby; Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, Joseph Quinn; and Ben Grimm, the Thing. Bang. Look, the Thing, my man. Ebony Moss, Baccarat, as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from the ravenous space god called Galactus, Ralph Ineson, and his enigmatic herald Silver Surfer, Julia Gardner. And if Galactus's plan to devour the entire planet and everyone on it wasn't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal.
Silver Surfer's a woman?
Yep.
In this movie, it's I think they're gonna have Norman Rad moving forward, but in this, so like I said, this movie is gonna heavily weigh into the multiverse. They're not done with the multiverse yet.
Okay, because I was about to be like, Norrin Rad, like nothing.
Yeah. That's been like the biggest talking thing about it. That's been like the biggest thing about it too. Is like, you're not the only person that has like that's the first thing that pops in your head. Like, hey, what the fuck? Like, I may not know the comic books too well or whatever the fuck, but I know in the Fantastic Four, the fucking Silver Surfer is like one of the most prolific characters in the story.
So from what I'm gathering, and again, not to get too spoilery and not to ruin too much, and it's actually not ruining much, but from what I'm hearing is like this family, they're not from the universe you're gonna see them in.
They're not from like our 10-99999 or whatever the fuck.
No, they're not even from the universe that we're gonna see them in during this movie. I think they're from pre uh what is his name?
Infinity?
Jonathan Majors fucking
Kang.
Kang. Yeah, before his first multiversal war, this family is from before that. That's what
it's a possibility that they may have like survived.
Yeah,
the Kang Wars.
Exactly.
Wow, that's cool.
They're very aware of what's going on, and they wound up in this universe, and that's the reason why Galactus is looking for them, and it's gonna bring in Nathaniel.
Oh
Richards.
wow, Galactus is traveling multiverses.
Yeah.
That's new.
He's like Darkseid, right?
Nathaniel Richards is going to be involved in this. It's going to be, like I said, from what I'm hearing, if they even do like 30% of what I'm hearing right now, dude, they're gonna
slap.
Yeah, they're gonna try to knock this one out the park.
But okay, so how do we feel about that, knowing that this is coming within 8 months and they're supposed to be pulling all this off like in this short amount of time frame? Because it seems like a lot. It seems like a fuck lot.
I mean, but it's always a lot, right? So I think the thing is when you look at most of the movies in Phase 4, they really didn't have any direction, right? So like a lot of the things, the shows, the movies, there's just no direction. There wasn't anywhere to go. I think they really have a good idea where they want to go. So I think they have that in their back pocket.
Okay. I mean, I don't deny that. I'm not gonna go against that in any way. Like, but that's the thing. Like, I get it. There's this aspect of like, hey, we're gonna fulfill all of these things that we need to get done in a small amount of time or whatever. But the problem with that is you're I mean, Galactus is already huge, very huge. And I mean, some people know who he is. Like some people in the sense of like that, you know, aren't big comic book people because of the fact that they had the original Fantastic Four movies and whatnot. But the Franklin Richards thing is the thing that kind of creeps me out.
That's it.
Because
you're right, Franklin. My fault.
Because right now you're going to bring in, but we talked about it before, where you can't have Secret Wars without fucking Franklin Richards, because they have one of the most, like, those are like the most symbolistic scenes in that comic book, right? The Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Owen Reese, the Doctor Doom versus the Fantastic Four, T'Challa with the Galactus or with the Infinity Stone, with Submariner in the background, Darkseid getting his spine ripped off by Doctor Doom, Ben Grimm being the Wall, Red Skull running into Braddock or Captain America or whatever in the fucking whoever he runs. I don't know if it's Bucky. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he runs into someone in the Marvel Zombies area. She-Hulk with Wolverine, Storm with Mjolnir. Triggs, am I missing any of them? Like, Franklin Richards sitting on Galactus's in his hand, Doom on the White Throne. Like, what else am I missing?
Johnny Storm is the son.
As the son, right? But like, there's certain things that are in Secret Wars, the comic book, in the omnibus and all that shit, that make it super crazy. And then, of course, you have all your sub stories or whatever. So the idea of us needing to have a Franklin Richards, important. Kang's not really in Secret Wars, so you don't really need him, but they're probably going to add him to it in some way. The Beyonder, you don't really need him in the new Secret Wars, but he was important in the old one. But like, man, dude, getting, again, Galactus, getting Franklin Richards and Valeria, getting Doctor Doom, who's Robert Downey Jr., fixing Thor. Who else? What else? The T'Challa situation, or the Siri, whichever way they're going to go with. And now we have the Jonathan Majors Kang situation. Like, there's a lot of things that are on the plate of the Marvel universe. Not even to mention like the Eternals. Like, what do you do with the Eternals? Like, I don't know. There's just so much stuff that I'm kind of like,
dude. At this point, I'm just gonna say that the Eternals didn't even happen.
But they did. Like, literally, you're about to have Captain America and the Falcon movie, Brave New World, dealing with the whole ending of the Eternal story.
Yeah, no.
Oh, dude, and not only that, the introduction of adamantium like this late in the game.
Yeah, no, it didn't happen.
So I don't know what you're talking about. Brian, what do you think, man?
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff, dude.
I mean, I think they're going to pull it off. I think they're going to try to do most of that shit. I don't think it's a coincidence that in the What If trailer we saw Storm with Mjolnir. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're going in the Galactus and Silver Surfer and Franklin Richards area. I don't think any of this is a coincidence. I think they hired the Russo brothers, and they're trying to be as comic book accurate as they possibly can. And
yeah, that's a good point.
And then with the rumors being what the title is going to be for the next Doctor Strange movie, I mean, dude,
I fucking called it, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking called it. I was just like, the only way that they're going to be able to do this story is in a Doctor Strange movie. That's the only way that they were going to do it. And then I saw the title screen for it supposedly, and I was like, I fucking called it.
Wait, what's the title screen for it? I don't even know what it is.
Time runs out.
Oh shit. Well, we all talked about this once, right? Yeah, we all.
Yeah, but I was just like, the only way that they can do a proper Time Runs Out is going to be in a Doctor Strange movie.
Like, I didn't even know that. But can we all three agree then that it's safe to say that we got the Russo brothers behind the helm, and it seems like they're trying to do things right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like the Russos and Marvel could do almost no wrong. I mean, these guys are just it when it comes to like Marvel. You know, well, when it comes to like Marvel properties.
Well, I want to bring this up though, but like, Brian, you haven't really been too much of like a big Russo brothers fans and all this stuff. I mean, you do understand, like, you do respect them for what they've done. But like outside of this, like you say that they kind of dropped the ball a lot, which we agree. I mean, the second movie with Chris Hemsworth, what was it called? See, I can't even remember the fucking name, Incursion or whatever. The one with Chris Hemsworth and the one with Chris Evans, the Gray Man, right?
Yeah, there's Extraction, and then the Gray Man.
There you go. Yeah, Extraction 2 was a little silly. It still had some good action, but kind of silly story writing. The Gray Man was fun, but kind of silly also a little bit. But yeah, you've made this point before where you're like the Russo brothers, like they're okay, but like they're not very good at the creative part when it comes to not having all these assets. But like now that we see them coming in, we're getting a lot of rumors and talks about how they're dropping a whole bunch of things and all the things that they're going to bring into the realm. Like, are you kind of like, are you excited now that you're hearing all this stuff more, Brian?
So just to clarify, and I think I've said it before, but my only issue with them with the Russos is that they are overrated with anything outside of Marvel. Anything inside of Marvel, I think they do a good job. You can't deny
that. Yeah,
when they're
all they do are $1 billion films with Marvel. Yeah, all they do are $1 billion films.
Yeah, when they're inside of under the umbrella of Kevin Feige and Marvel, they do a good job. Again, they're just told not to crash the fucking whip, and they don't. And so they do a good job. Am I excited? I'm excited the fact that they're taking this shit seriously. That's what I'll say. I think that if they were taking this shit seriously, they could have had anybody do this. But I think I'm more excited for the fact that they're taking it serious, and yeah, why not get? I mean, at this point, you need to at least get the Russos for names that people know and they trust, and that'll get people to come out and watch your movie. Again, I give it to them for that. But I'm more excited for the fact that they're taking their shit seriously moving forward. That's what I'm excited about.
It's super shitty that I have to agree because, like, yeah, the fact that like you have the Russo name on there, people are gonna be like, "Oh, thank God! Oh, this isn't gonna suck." You know, like we can watch this confidently, sort of thing. And you know, obviously, you would like for that not to be the point, but it is. It's going to be one of those that, like, you know, like the fact that, like, yeah, now I know that the Russos are attached to Marvel projects. It gives me a lot more hope for certain Marvel projects and certain Marvel storylines that are going to come.
Yeah, like the floating series, right? Like what are they going to do with Wanda? Like what are they going to do with like the Young Avengers that they've all introduced now? You know, what are you going to do with?
Even then, I could really give a fuck about all of that. Yeah. Like my shit is the incursions, dude. How are you going to handle incursions and everything regarding that?
Because you talked about it before where you were like, yeah, like due diligent wise, like I'll watch What If, but I'm not really like that crazy about it, but I'll watch it. But me and Brian, we talked about this where they were like, it's interesting to see them introduce the Marvel zombies there so they don't have to make a film. So when they bring the Marvel zombies into the Secret Wars universe by being at one of the parts of the wall or whatever, or the boundaries, like, you just have to see, because that was the same thing we all thought during Doctor Strange, wasn't it? Where we all thought they were going to bring the Marvel zombies Wanda. Do you remember that? When people were talking about the chase scene? There was people that actually believed that was the Wanda from What If. So, like, you know, as long as they bring it in some kind of format, people already know what to expect, right? So they don't have to be doing extra stuff. Like the Young Avengers thing, like the Wiccan thing, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I mean, it's good that they have it because there's a lot of shit they don't. They still don't have Miles. Like, they don't have Miles Morales. How are they going to put off that whole cheeseburger scene? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if that even does happen. I mean, as it is, we need, you know, Molecule Man.
Yeah, we need one.
And we don't even have that.
Yeah. Like, have you heard?
So like, I'm less worried about a fucking cheeseburger than I am an entire character.
My mom's like, "Hey, sons, all of you guys." Hi, mom. Sorry I didn't get to answer your call. I'm on the air. But yeah, like you're absolutely correct. Like, there's a molecule, man. There's even concepts. I don't know if you heard this, but we do know that there's a show called Wonder Man coming out, right?
Yeah.
And with Wonder Man, Brian, did you see the trailer for Wonder Man? Like the opening?
I did.
It seems pretty good. Like, it seems fun. And the guy that's playing the character, the guy that played Mantis in Aquaman, he's not a slouch when it comes to the acting roles. You know what I mean? Apparently, this character lives in our universe, but can break fundamentally the fourth wall because he's like he controls atoms, so he can frequently change between like different universes or whatnot. I'm just hearing per se, but apparently this character plays very closely in the format on the films like the Molecule Man. So there's people talking about Wonder Man being the Molecule Man. Like, what do you guys think of that? Oh, Triggs, let me ask you that because I know like Secret War is like real close to your heart. If they were to switch out Molecule Man for Wonder Man, what would you think?
Well, you would have to change his entire power set because Wonder Man doesn't do that at all in the comics.
Yeah, it's not like
this dude dies of like cancer or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
he's literal just energy.
Yeah,
his body is just a construct, and like he's just energy, living energy, and somehow or another cancer got us him.
Brian, what about you? How do you feel about this?
I mean, if they're after this whole Jonathan Majors debacle, I think that there is still a chance that we'll have Jonathan Majors in the MCU again, and I think that's how we get him. Is he'll play something where he's the one. If they do make Wonder Man their version of the Molecule Man, it'll be because Jonathan Majors found out and somehow
kind of mixes it or something, right?
Kind of mixes it together. Yeah, exactly.
So okay, so you brought it up. It's a good concept too because it was going to be our next segue. The Jonathan Majors trial has a huge update. What do you guys know about it so far? Brian, do you know anything about it?
It just got settled outside of court.
Yeah. That it essentially sounds dismissed. Like that's what I was getting from it. But like, was it actually settled or was it like dismissed?
I think he just paid
all the whole
because like the outlets are kind of the outlets are kind of saying that like she just dropped charges and so it was essentially dismissed. I mean like I'm sure she did get her private settlement or whatever and stuff like that, but like I guess like legal speaking wise, I guess it was dropped or dismissed.
Yeah, I'll read it to you right now. Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari settles defamation assault case.
She settled. Yeah, he paid her off. He paid her off so he can somehow salvage whatever career he has left.
Whatever role he's got left, yeah.
Yeah, whatever he's got left. And I think that was the best thing for everybody involved.
So what does this go for? Like, since all of it's dropped, it's saying that the settlement, the defamation case has been, a deal has come after the actor's landing his first pro-conviction film role, an announcement of his news of his engagement, because I guess he's engaged now. They settled, which means there was no like guilty or non-guilty situation. They just kind of were like, hey, you can pay it off and that's it.
He was already found guilty of the criminal charge. This is just a defamation suit. So
this is like a separate format.
Yeah, let's not get confused. Yeah, he's still found guilty.
Yeah, this is more of like a Johnny Depp situation where like
was the criminal charge he was found guilty. The defamation suit, which he just tried to get basically like a civil suit or whatever, try to get money from him, and so
like a civil case.
This is like basically saying stop calling me names.
Yeah, you can't lose the criminal trial and then lose the defamation case and then still have to pay money. Then that just doesn't look good on you at all. So
yeah, so where does this put Jonathan Majors in the sense of getting his role back with Marvel? Like, do you guys feel like there's a good possibility? Do you feel like it's like a 50-50? Or do you feel like it's one of those things that Marvel's going to be like, nah, we ain't fucking with this no more?
Dude, honestly, for me, it's a up in the air situation for me.
Okay.
This is more about the optics again.
Yeah.
Being that the case was dropped, it looks good on him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that might make uh Disney and Marvel be open to bringing him back in some capacity. He's never. I mean, they've already moved forward. They're already bringing Doom. Like Kane.
Yeah, dude, they've
Kang
made
is
announcements, like they've made public appearances stating otherwise, that they're going to move away from Kang and stuff like that. They're like, it's not that there's no turning away from that or backing down from that, but the commitments are already there. And there's no way that they're going to throw away billions of dollars worth of fucking production, over a fucking case. Like, I don't see how that makes any financial sense.
I think they will. I think whatever
I think they'll implement him into whatever plans they have now, but I don't think they'll do any major change outside of that.
Agreed.
Yeah, because in my opinion, it's like they still have somewhat an open-ended story that they never had the opportunity to like really give us a definitive end of the character. So like that possibility, now that the case has been settled out of court, yes, the criminal situation has been found guilty of, but they did settle. The lady dropped all the cases of defamation, not to bring it up anymore and be paid out. That means she's settled and she's fine with whatever goes from for now. Do you think that there's like a chance that Marvel comes back and says, hey, well, you know what? Like, you guys got it all settled out. Let's get you back to work. We've already put this much effort into the character we developed with you. We didn't talk about it. We gathered a bunch of your characters together. There's no like something that came from it. Or do they leave it just as an asset, as a just in caser?
I think they leave it as, we just need to sew this up. Like you said, there's a huge gap that is just there, and they're just gonna sew it up to move forward. I don't think they're going to be very invested in the Jonathan Majors stock moving forward. They're just gonna, if they do bring him back at all, it'll be just to close up this Kang loop and then move forward. That's what I see.
Dude, I mean, he could even be the Thanos where, he gets his spine ripped out, sort of shit. And it happens to Kang.
I never even thought of that. That's cool.
And it happens to Kang instead of fucking Thanos, and then boom, that's your wrap up.
Yeah, the you think you're a god, you've never been a god, you don't know what it's like. Boom, and he's like, shut up, bitch. Like, I got this.
Yeah. There you go, dude. That's your wrap up.
That's actually a really cool, like a really cool concept. Really, really good. Because of course you always have Kang that shows up in his like omnibus chair. You know what I mean? He always shows up like ready to do some fucking business or whatever, and he always pops off like he's always got like the like he's always like the bee's knees of this shit.
Like he's got the sauce.
Yeah, like he's got the sauce, dude. Which is very Thanos-esque, right? Because we do know, and we've been calling this since they put him in the fucking Disney poster years ago, that they're gonna bring in King Thanos, right? And now there's talks that like Thanos is coming back in some wild ass way. So we understand that there's gonna be some like ultimate the end Thanos coming, and of course they're probably gonna have Dr. Doom fucking put him in a kennel, beat the fuck out of him in some wild ass way. But man, that would be really cool to see the whole like it be Kang instead that shows up, like he like pops in and he's like, what is this, what is this fucking mess you've made, or this playground or this battleground, and Robert Downey Jr.'s character is like, hey bro, you're gonna have to fuck off, if not something's gonna happen. And then he just rips his spine out, dude. That would be fuck. I never even thought of that. Good call.
You talking about Kang?
Yeah, like you remember that in Thanos?
The guy that got beat by fucking Ant-Man?
Well, I mean, yeah. Fucking MCU, man. They really fucked that character.
Yeah, no fucking bro. Marvel character has ever been overly arrogant about anything that they do.
Give me Thanos, bro. I get it. It sounds cute. You can figure out a different way to wrap that shit up. If you give me Doom ripping out Thanos' fucking spine, bro, I'm gonna sign up for that, bro.
Yeah, I would
for that one.
Yeah, that's
how. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Of course, I want to see it. That's like one of my favorite panels in the whole fucking show.
I think we're gonna see it.
Yeah, I 100%. There's that one in the Black Panther.
I'm not putting any stock in any panel that they're gonna fucking do. None whatsoever.
That's so sad to hear from Trigger, man. Because Trigger, like,
none.
This is his day, dude.
I got the fucking book right there, dude, and I know for a fact I won't get it.
Like, can you imagine Marvel's delivered each of us our own sauce, dude? Like me, it was Thor: Love and Thunder. Brian, it was the Null in Venom 2.
Well, as it is, he still hasn't even really gotten his King in Black yet. So, like, that's that. I mean, that's left, to the Sonyverse, I guess, or whatever the fuck, man.
Yeah,
I'm fucked. I'm screwed, bro. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're cooked, bro. You are cooked, bro.
Yeah, I got to see Venomverse 2, guys. I got to see that. Yeah, I got to see that too. Brian, did you watch it?
I refuse. There's nothing to watch.
You're not gonna watch. You're like, fuck no, I'm not gonna watch that shit. I watched it, and yeah, you could do without. You 100% do without watching it. I bet you can make up the story in your head, and it's probably better than what I saw. So don't even worry about it. But we did get confirmation that Venom will be in Spider-Man 4. So the director did come out and say Spider-Man 4 is coming, or Spider-Man Venom is coming in Spider-Man 4, which I don't know how, but sure, fuck it, let's put him in there anyways. But yeah, dude, and Trigger's about to get Secret Wars, and it's so sad for Trigger to be like, literally, dude, we're getting, and not only that, all of us are getting time runs out, like, and time runs out, baby.
And like, time runs out to me is arguably more exciting to me than Secret Wars. And like the fact, like, I mean, one of the coolest things in all of Marvel, like in the last 15, 20 years, that's happened in Marvel happened in Time Runs Out. And I mean, fucking Jonathan Hickman. God damn it, dude. You're a goddamn master storyteller. Fucking Chad, bro. That's what you are.
As we get closer to it, knowing that Doctor Strange is going to be Time Runs Out, we're probably going to get, we talked about this before, the Black, what is it? Black Priests. We're going to get the Black Swans. The Black Swans too, right? That's the name.
What are they going to do about Black Panther, bro? Like, how are they going to do any of this without Black Panther?
Fuck, I don't know, man.
That's why I'm not putting any stock into anything, dude. Like, the whole basis to this story is already fucked. And like, I'm like, dude, there's no way. Like,
what do you guys think about fucking Denzel Washington joining the Black Panther crew, dude?
Dude, whatever he wants to do. Dude,
bro.
Honestly, you know where I can kind of see him being as like Duke Winston's like grandfather or some shit like that.
I see that.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he would make a good Jabari like tribe leader or some shit.
Hear me out on this, guys. Adam fucking Brashear, dude. Denzel Washington, Adam Brashear.
As old man Adam Brashear?
Dude, he's from the 60s. He is the age of Adam Brashear. If you look at
except Adam Brashear doesn't age.
Well, except the fact that
I would have given it to the guy who they have for Wonder Man. I would have given Adam Brashear to him. He's already jacked enough.
I like Sterling Brown, dude.
What'd you call me?
No, Sterling Brown, the actor, dude. This guy, let me bring him up. I'll show you a picture of him. I would love this guy as Adam Brashear. I think he would do. I think he'd be a G.
This is us, guy. We get it. Every time there's a black role, you always bring this guy up. You know who he is, bro.
No, well, you're gonna listen to me today,
this
son.
Only black guy that you know that can play a fucking role or something, bro.
Dude, this is it's because people do not understand.
You mean the basketball player?
Adam Brashear is the character that society needs in film, and they don't have to like fucking like do anything weird with the character because he's already there, and he comes from like a very dark time frame in American history also. Like, dude,
Chris,
he's amazing.
The fact that they're still not doing anything with him substantial in the comic books.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone, dude. It's okay.
What do you do with a character that's OP? He just falls in the OP realm.
No, he's not OP. He's a heavy hitter, but he's not OP.
He's OP, dude.
Dude, Franklin Richards can sneeze and this guy would never exist.
Franklin Richards can do that to anything.
Exactly. So fucking put some respect on it.
Put some respect on my boy's name. That's funny as fuck. Yeah, no, fuck that noise, dude. Yeah, there's talks that there's talks that Denzel Washington is gonna play like the grandfather to T'Challa, but they already have that man. I don't know if he's still alive though. The actor.
He's dead. He was in the fucking spirit realm thing. I think, dude, watch. He's gonna be Duke Winston's dad or his fucking grandfather or some shit. Watch.
The fact that they killed off Angela Bassett and now I can't see
God, that
Angela
was such a
Bassett.
fucking
right, dude. Right,
I
bro.
can't see Angela Bassett and Denzel Washington just do their fucking thing now, which that fucking sucks, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And I said this at the first time we saw it. I was like, I cannot believe they killed off Angela Bassett's character. Right when I got out of the theater and we did our review talks, I was like, I can't believe it. Like, where do you go from here? Like, where do you go when you bench?
Dude, and just one of the most heart-wrenching like speeches. She was like, "Have I not given enough?" Like, oh, dude, you just.
And of course,
I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and I love her in Everything Always or whatever the fuck that movie was called. But she did not deserve that award over fucking Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett, yeah,
that was highway robbery, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if the kid from like how old the kid would be now. Which that's a stupid thing for me to look up.
It's
the one that plays the young T'Challa Jr.
It's the multiverse, bro. If they want to make them,
yeah, they're gonna have to bring in an adult.
Yeah, dude, they'll Jonathan Kent him, dude. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because in my mind I was like, oh, dude, let me look up this kid. They probably let him age up a bit. He's like fucking 9 in that movie.
Say, the kid was like 6 in the movie, bro. Like,
yeah, he's super like a child. I just saw his picture and I was like, oh no, dude, this kid's like, he's gonna be like 13 and they're gonna make him be the goddamn Black Panther. It's gonna be nuts, dude. But yeah, I remember that was like the concept. They were gonna wait for him to kind of age up, like they did with X-23, but like, it's coming too soon. It's coming too soon. And let me ask you guys something. And this is just like, I mean, we're so off topics because I can't believe we're talking this much about it. But like, if they were gonna do Black Panther with Shuri instead in Secret Wars, how would you guys take that?
I'm fine. We're already.
I mean, yeah, dude.
We're already here, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, she's probably gonna die anyway, so it doesn't matter.
If they were, I mean, everybody dies in Secret Wars and gets revamped in the new universe, right? Like that's the concept. It's just that T'Challa keeps the time gem. Is that what he keeps? Remember, he keeps one of the gems at the end of the Secret Wars, doesn't he? Triggs, that's a question for you. You're the Secret Wars guy.
Wait, what was your question?
I said, like, let's say, because you say, well, she's probably gonna die anyways, and it's like, well, technically everybody dies at the end of Secret Wars because of like the whole revamp of the universe. But T'Challa keeps like the time stone or the mind gem, and he remembers like all of it.
So yes and no. So it's the time stone that's kept, but it doesn't go but it goes somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another gauntlet that's used, but like nothing really happens in Secret Wars itself. Because they use the Infinity Gauntlet during time runs out. They break all the gems except for like the Time Stone, and then it just goes off anywhere. And then in Secret Wars itself, there's another gauntlet that's remade, and that's when Black Panther uses it. And it doesn't really matter because fucking Molecule Man just changes shit all over again, or not changes shit, but Reed Richards redoes everything all over again. Okay. So like it was kind of one of those like moot points that like at the very end, it didn't like, it's not that people died. It's just that those events were like, they're just changed. It's just rebuilt outside of all of that.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I think are going to come up. The Jonathan Majors things, like we said about earlier, like, I really don't think there's like an opportunity for him to come back as a full-fledged character. Maybe they bring him in just to get him killed by Kang, just to kind of like prove a point, to show like the omnipresence of the Doctor Doom character, the God character, like being super OP. But Brian, you know, calling it for what it's worth, like Jonathan Majors, Kang's character got tanked by Ant-Man. So like I wouldn't even see him being able to fight the Avengers in totality, you know what I mean? So, like, if he was to even show up against the Doctor Doom, I don't think there's any way anybody looks at him like a true threat, right? So, yeah, good point, boys. But onwards. So, Jonathan Majors, no chance, baby. But good on you for saving your face, man. Good on you for saving face. Onwards to the next part. Triggs, this is all you, buddy. This is all you, because I know Brian probably ain't gonna know shit about this anyways. I haven't seen it. I saw a trailer for it, but you know what? You did get Brian to soften up about this too, though.
Oh, I was lost for a second about what you were talking about, but now I know I got it.
Here we go, boys. Dune Prophecy is a series that came out on HBO or Prime. HBO Max, right? Yeah, it's based on the world of the Dune stuff.
Right, he's being hurtful.
Yeah. Dune.
He's just trying to be hurtful, trying to get me to rise, and I'm not going to fall for it.
Triggs, I don't think Brian's going to really be able to inform me about this. Brian, do you know anything about Dune Prophecy?
Come on, bro.
He's like, fuck no. Triggs, you're going to have to bail me out, man. You're going to have to teach me. Tell me. You're our guy, man. You're the guy. I know you love Dune. Tell us about this prophecy. Is it something you look forward to, or is it something that just like popped off?
Guys, I'm going to be very, very diplomatic about this show. And yeah, I really am. And I'm going to say that if you are not a relatively like decent Dune fan, this may not be for you.
Yeah, if Dune's not your drinking game.
Yeah, if Dune is not your cup of tea, this show probably is not for you. All right. This show takes place about 10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides, and takes place about 100 years after the Butlerian Jihad, which is basically the war that decided that no more thinking machines were going to be implemented into technology as like technology moves forward. And they talk about those events. They talk about what was going on, why things are banned. Like there's one scene where a child has a thinking machine. It's a little lizard thing, and it runs around and it's pitter pattering. And Travis Fimmel's character stabs it, and he gives it back to the kid. And it's a huge deal, huge deal. Like the Emperor's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna forgive this just once, but if I see this again, I'll have your fucking family killed, sort of shit. It is like the actors that they have in this, I forget the lady's name who plays Valia Harkonnen, one of the main characters of the show. The original movie, right? She's an amazing actress. Then you have Travis Fimmel, the guy who plays Ragnar Lothbrok, in Vikings. Yep. John Strong, we literally just finished seeing him in Penguin, and just a whole bunch of other shit that he's been in. Dude, honestly, it's a good show. I have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of intro stuff that's happening. So this is kind of the show that gives rise to the birth of the Bene Gesserit, which is the sisterhood that is like controlling things behind the scenes. They're the ones who make the plan for the Lisan al-Gaib, right? Space Jesus. And yes, Emily Watson. Olivia Williams as well. She's another relatively big name. But you do have familiar names. The Mark Strong's character, he's a Carino, which is the people the house that runs the universe. Third from the left, second row, that guy, his name is Kieran Atreides. Yes, he's the Swordmaster, which is a descendant of Paul Atreides. Yes, that guy. He's actually currently fucking the princess, so good for him. And honestly, man, it's just one of those things where, for me, I like this because it gives a lot of perspective to an organization that I never really read up on. So I like that I'm getting a kind of like a character study, on this particular organization. But dude, this show is fucking brutal.
The movies are brutal, man.
Well, so Valia Harkonnen, she's the Mother Superior, right? And she's the one who controls the whole Bene Gesserit. But they're not calling themselves that yet. They have not established themselves as the Bene Gesserit. They're just calling themselves a sisterhood, and that's all they are. And now they're starting to become truth sayers. So people who like give advisement to the people who run certain houses of the Landsred. And with all the context that I'm giving you guys right now, this is why I'm saying, if you're not at least a relatively decent like Dune fan, this show's probably not for you. And I totally get it. You know, like it's very different in the aspect where like if you watched Penguin, you were like, this is a fucking great show. I watched Dune and I'm like, this is awesome because I love the lore behind it. You watch the Penguin for like just the overall experience of the Penguin of the show. For Dune, you watch it for the lore building of a universe that you became attached to. And that's where like I think those two would be like very inherently different. You know, like outside of the writing, outside of, you know, these, you know, like these two different like types of shows and stuff like that. Because yeah, there's a lot of underhanded shit. Like Valia Harkonnen, she kills a Mother Superior because she just like she finds out that she has the voice, which is like it's called the weirding way, and where it's basically like if she tells you something, you have to obey it. You know, and you obey it without question.
Isn't that the mind controlling shit that the main kid does in the movies?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that shit.
So Valia Harkonnen is the one who like discovers that ability, and she teaches that ability to the rest of the sisterhood.
What's up, Brian? I know what's up. Up. Even though I don't watch this fucking movie.
Taking a nap break right now, bro.
You're like, I gotta take a break. This shit's too much. It's a lot of shit that I'm taking in.
Yeah, dude.
So Tricks, knowing that you're watching the show and everything like that, is it giving you like the same validity as the movies? Like, because the movies, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're confusing as fuck, they're Shakespearean as hell, but like they're good at their cinematography. Like, I watch them just because they're fucking beautiful. I might not.
Well, you got to remember, dude, Denis Villeneuve has nothing to do with this.
Oh fuck. So
yeah,
it's not even
this is not these are not Denis Villeneuve's like shows. Like Denis Villeneuve is not the cinematographer for all of this. Like they're basing it off of his ideas, right? Oh, okay. So like if he does, he's literally just a consult, like if that. And
he's
you know,
just a dude they're bringing in just to be like, well, what do you think of this? Does this work?
Yeah, like if I did this, would this be cool? Sort of shit. Like this is not a Denis Villeneuve project, essentially.
But is it beautiful though? Like,
oh yeah, dude, they're gorgeous.
Say, like, you cannot deny. You can bring another director.
They're like format. Yeah, because like the Spacing Guild has already been established, but we haven't seen them. From what I heard, is we're actually going to see space navigators for the first time because you never got to see them in the movies at all.
Those are the only AI guys that are left, right?
Not yes and no.
In that format though, they use the AI to like transcend.
They are AI. Like basically, what they do is they take so much spice, and their brain becomes a computer essentially.
I do the same thing, dude. When I take a lot of drugs when I'm sick, dude.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude, Joe Rogan's gonna be like, hey, that's spice. Where can I get some? I want to try it. I want to lick the frog, dude.
Bro, I'm telling you, like I like the show because like this is a lot of lore building that I fell in love with, right? Yeah. To someone who watches this, it may be like some of the things that go on may fly over your head, right? Like they're going to talk about the Butlerian Jihad a little bit, and you're going to be like, well, what's that? No, why aren't there AI machines? And you know, like you're going to find out that technology has not advanced much in 10,000 years. And the reason that it hasn't advanced much is because they don't use AI.
Yeah, because they're just going off of what they can and can't do just with their human minds, right? Which I mean, even though
but they change their human mind because of spice. Like they alter their brains like genetically because of spice. The thing is that they are. The reason that they don't have AI is because it was very much a Terminator situation. Like the AIs became self-aware and they were like, well, we got to get rid of you guys. And well, the humans won and they're like, no more AI, none, no more. The thinking machines do not do the thinking for us. And that is it. But what they don't know is that AI still exists. It's existed the whole time. It's just they just don't know about it.
And that's with Bene Gesserit, or is that with someone else?
No, that's man. No, I'm about to talk y'all's ear off, but no, it's with the Benny Twi'leks. The Benny Twi'leks are a group of men who were like, no, we're gonna keep experimenting on AI, and we're gonna see what happens. And then like later on down the line, like 30,000 years down the line, they're like, okay, maybe we shouldn't have done that, because like now they're at it again, and the thinking machines want to kill us again.
Dope. So overall, like, what's the were you able to give a summary of the story that's going on with this, or?
Okay, so the summary of the story is that this is
what Trick Brian? What are you doing?
Dude, you're such a fucking
to talk about his life.
baby, dude.
He just talked for the last fucking 20 minutes, and then you want to give him a summary about it again?
Hey man, there you go.
He fucking went off on a tangent, and I was like, wait a minute, I still don't know what the show's about.
This is about the birth of the Bene Gesserit and how they genetically change things to where Paul Atreides is who he is. There you go.
Sweet.
Fucking Brian. I know what you're doing.
Yo, listen, bro. I shut up. I muted up. I let you get your shit off, bro. I didn't say anything, bro.
I bet you were talking the whole time back there like this bitch ass dude.
Nah, not even, bro. I'm just letting you do your thing. This is your time to shine, because I got nothing for you, and I know Chris got nothing for you. So this is your time to shine. It sounds.
Hey man, at least you liked the second movie,
yeah,
which is more than I thought you were gonna do.
I did my part, you know.
Yeah, you gave it the college try, and you know what? That's more than what I could have asked.
I actually liked it. I actually liked the second movie. But now you're asking a lot. 10,000.
No, and that's why I was just like, look, dude, if you're not a Dune fan, this probably isn't for you. I'm telling you this right now. I'm not gonna front with you. You know, if you're not, don't worry about it. Like, I'm not gonna get mad.
10,000 years into the future.
In the past.
Wait, does that?
I got my funny thing.
Are they gonna? I do have a question. Are they gonna address the water shit? 10,000.
No, it's 10,000 years in the past, brother.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, wasn't there water and shit like before?
On Arrakis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's always just been like an ugly desert.
It's always just been fucking sand and shit.
Man.
Yep.
Can you imagine a motherfucking dude?
So around that time, what they had wanted to do, like one of the biggest reasons why they had gone to Arrakis was they wanted to make it a water planet. They wanted to make it a fertile planet to settle on. But when people would go there, they'd get fucked up on spice the whole time. And they came back and they were like, bro, we're enlightened. And they were like, all right, why are you enlightened? And they were like, this shit, dude, it's in the fucking sand, bro. And they're like, yeah, no, dude, we got to keep Arrakis.
Planet Arrakis?
Arrakis.
That place is just like, it's got cocaine dirt, man. That's
literally
dude. All it is.
Yeah, dude, it's got meth sand, bro, and like it makes you go to the fucking spirit realm, dude.
Can you imagine like your fucking general goes like, all right, I need you to go to this planet and fucking conquer this shit. You come by 4 months later and everybody's just hugging each other, driving fucking Volkswagen
dude,
Beetles.
just fucking eyes dilated and shit.
They're like, boss, I
went to the fucking spirit world, bro.
So okay, so on a regular note, like, worth it or not worth it to watch?
Worth it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I was gonna come back from the bathroom and be like, okay, Brian, what did you learn from my absentee? And Brian was gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm listening to, man. It's crazy. I just want to know if there was water, man. That's all.
That's it, yeah.
That was the original plan for the planet, that they wanted to do that, but then they found out that like the spice that like they would get from the sand was like a hallucinogenic, but that hallucinogenic gave them like it changed their brains to where they could become computers essentially. They were like, oh well, we don't fucking need AI anyway, we'll just huff this shit. And so that's what they do.
Drug, they used it in Star Wars and shit.
Yeah, dude.
It made it all the way there.
It's imagine if you didn't have any force powers and you started doing a lot of cocaine and you had a lot of force powers afterwards.
I was gonna say it makes a lot of sense now, man. Maybe all that shit that Jedis do ain't even real. It's just everybody.
Yeah, dude. How do you think Luke is so strong, bro? He was huffing spice the whole time.
Yeah, nobody has any kind of special powers. It's just a bunch of people on drugs.
Yeah, dude. How do you think Anakin was so strong? He fucking huffed spice, his whole life.
The only ones that had common sense were those aliens that were on Mustafar that were like, this guy wants to do what to us? Remember those fucking two?
Oh, you did too much cocaine.
Yeah, he goes in and fucking mobs them and shit. Well, cool, dude. Well, this thing's on HBO Max. If you guys want to go check it out, Dune Prophecy. If you're already a fan of the two movies, go check it out. Highly recommended by our boy Trish.
Honestly, I think it's a watch just for the actors alone. Dude, these guys are hitters, bro. Are straight hitters. And the projects that they're attached to are usually never bad anyway. So
good stuff.
It's one of those things like if you just gave it a chance just on the actor list alone, I think it would pay off.
Dope. I like it, man. I like it. All right, boys. Onwards into the second to the last talk of the conversation. I gotta sell you guys why I think Gladiator 2 is good. So I got to see Gladiator 2. Have any of you guys seen Gladiator 2? Brian, did you get to watch it? Maybe.
Nope.
No.
I know what it's about, but I have not seen it.
Okay.
But I only know I know the synopsis. I just do not know the ins and outs of the movie.
So I got to check it out, and I was pleasantly not disappointed. The movie did really well. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was it doesn't get close to the original one. But I think this movie is maybe 10 years behind when it should have dropped, if that makes sense. Brian, you were going to say something right now. What were you going to say?
No, you said that you were pleasantly not disappointed. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Well, let's say it's not a 5.
Bro.
Let's say it's not a 5 out of 10. All right. Let's just say it's not a 5 out of 10. I would, I'd give it like a high.
So
7,
it's a 6 out of 10. Like the fuck
like
does that mean?
Like a high
This
6
one
and a
guy,
half.
this guy. So first off, you never mince your words. You never you call it what it is. But for some reason, I feel like you're about to do the complete opposite right here, and I'm gonna have to ask the question why at the end of this.
I don't. Okay, so the movie itself kind of felt like. Do you remember the movie Immortals with Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill.
Do you remember the way that movie kind of was, like, storytelling wise? Like
Rushed?
it was kind of like
Rushed.
No, it wasn't rushed. I don't think Immortals was
No,
rushed.
it was rushed.
Do you think so?
Okay.
Okay, what about Clash of the Titans?
Which one?
Part 1. Let's say part 1.
Which one?
Well, not the fucking 60s one, dude. No, we watched that when we were in junior high.
Hey, man.
We watched that shit in junior high. I'm talking about the fucking new one.
Motherfucker, show.
I like that movie, Chris. Go ahead. I like
Yeah. It's one of those ones that you can't go off and be like, oh, yeah, dude, Clash of the Titans, fucking put that bitch up against Lord of the Rings. You can't do that. So you're just going to be like, they're going to look at it and be like, no. That's like a summer hit compared to like a masterpiece, right? Clash of the Titan 1 was good. Gladiator 2 can fall in that format where it's just a fun watch. You don't have to get too serious about it. It's about people beating the fuck out of each other in some kind of gladiatorial way in the Colosseum. There's like very low touches of like what happened in real history compared to what didn't happen. And then it correlates to the original Gladiator. Like it falls back to the original story, like having some kind of connection. Denzel's in the movie. He does very well. Pedro Pascal's in it. Does very good too. What's up?
Did this story need to be said? Like, did this story need to be told?
No, that's why I say it's one of those movies that you can miss it and be okay without it and watch it like later on Netflix. But it's not going to be one of those movies that you're like, this is trash. You know what I mean? Like it's a fun movie. It's just it would have been a good summer movie, if I could be honest. So like yeah.
So
overall,
it does not live up to the first Gladiator movie. Is what you're saying?
No, dude, that's a masterpiece. We're just talking about that. That's a masterpiece. This would have been fun 10 years ago.
Is this also a Ridley Scott movie?
Fuck, I don't know. Let me check.
I think so.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Ridley Scott did the first one, right?
Yeah. Ridley Scott, director.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, it was, but it didn't live up to the format of the first movie. It did have some nice callbacks to the original.
Well, the main guy is Lucius, right? The little boy in the first movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I should spoil stuff, right?
I mean, it's a synopsis point. I mean, you're not giving it away. You're just confirming.
Well, but the thing is throughout the entire film, it doesn't tell you if it's him or not, like in the beginning, and then later on, it comes out and tells you who he actually really is, and it's supposed to be. It's a part of the story that it's a surprise.
Yeah.
Like it is because of the fact that
the lady is in there too, right? The woman who was in love with
the first movie.
Yeah, the woman who was in love with Maximus.
Yeah. So there is some kind of like cool like up and comings, some really cool like Easter eggs that kind of pop off in the later run. But again, if you're not really gonna be like if you're not set to be like, yo, I'm gonna go watch Gladiator 2 this week. Like it's probably a movie you didn't give a fuck about to begin with. Like that's why that's not like a Marvel movie. Like with a Marvel movie, you're like, no, I'm gonna go check that bitch out this coming week. And then you set it in a schedule, like you need to go watch it. But Gladiator 2, if you weren't really hyped to go see it, you're probably not hyped to go see it next week either or the week after. You'll probably wait for that bitch to be on like Laserdisc or whatever people use, VHS or whatever. It's an okay movie. It's a fun watch. Like anybody can kind of watch it. There's no like ridiculous like fucking scenes. There's no like any of the wokeism stuff in politics or nothing like that. It's just a straight gladiator movie that's very easy telling story. Easy telling. It's just like dude's in jail, becomes a gladiator, has to do this.
So let me ask you this. What is, without giving too much if you can, what is Denzel's role? Not his character, just what is his role in this film?
He's the guy that gets the gladiatorial characters together. Like he's the one that kind of like is the one that
is he the one that owns them?
Yeah, he's the ringleader of all the gladiator guys. That's like his position. But his thing is like he wants to climb up the political stature. So he's like doing penguin shit.
So he was that bearded guy, the one who bought all the slaves in that first one.
Movie. Yeah. And of course, like there's a dichotomy of different characters from different regions of like Asia and Europe and all that other stuff during that time, even like into like the African culture. Even the main character, like if I'm not mistaken, he ended up coming from like an African area and then came this way after the Romans conquered like some specific part of that area during that time frame. So like, and it's a really cool idea on how they get the character to not want to fight against Pedro. Like it's a very, very interesting dynamic how they get the main character to want to be like, I need to kill this man. Because what's Pedro's role? Pedro's Pascal is like the lieutenant that was there after Maximus. Like he's the guy that was like the next in charge that ran it that way, that was trying to build that Rome with him. And then the two new emperors that are the Joseph Quinn, which is the guy from Stranger Things, and I don't know the other guy. They come in as these like very spoiled, very the House of Dragons fucking kid that everybody hated with poison or whatever the fuck, that one blonde haired kid. They're very much that. So like everyone hates them. Denzel kind of has this plan to kind of like get to them, like to be a part of like their thing and maybe be a part of their Senate. And Pedro Pascal
is like the next Maximus.
Well, he's married to the girl. He's married to the mom, the lady or whatever of Lucius. Like they're married. Like that's his love, and she loves him because he's that very honorable format of soldier that was during that time frame that she's used to.
Damn.
So overall, it was a good movie. It wasn't very.
Fuck it, dude. I'll watch it tonight, dude. I'll watch it pirata. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think 100%. Like for us in our situation, I think it's a good sit down and just watch if we have a little bit of time. Like I would recommend it just for fun and shits and giggles. But if you're not really someone that's into like, I don't know, just regular basic action films, I don't think it'll be for you. I think you'll end up being kind of bored with it maybe, or it'll kind of like you'll lose interest in it by maybe about half the film. But yeah, Brian, what about yourself? Do you have any questions for the Gladiator film or no?
No, I was gonna let you talk because I have no intentions of watching this movie.
No, I understand. But yeah, I would give it like a high 7.5, or no, a high 6.5 into 7. I think it's good. I think it's fun. I think it has a good ending. Of course, like Denzel's a G. I mean, you know, anything Denzel touches, especially him and Pedro Pascal have done one of like the Equalizer movies before. So they play off of each other really, really well. And of course, like in this format, like Pedro Pascal isn't really playing a villain character. Like he's playing a character that's like, you know, like a very respectable character. And Denzel's character is actually the one that's a little bit more on the dark side. So and the main actor, like at first you're kind of like, oh, this is like a no-name guy. But if you think about it, like they'll do certain like shots of him and you can tell like his heritage is close to that Roman because he has like the bridge of the nose, dude. Like he looks like a lot of the old school like paintings of Roman soldiers. It's so crazy how cool he looks. And there's, you know, kickbacks to Marcus Aurelius. There's kickbacks to all the kings and all that other stuff. So,
do they talk about the old emperor's death? Like, is that mentioned at all?
Yeah, it talks about how Marcus Aurelius wanted to continue on like the legacy of that emperor, and then like the fucking Joaquin Phoenix character comes in and kind of fucks everybody over, and yeah, they touch base on all that stuff.
Okay, yeah, because like, especially with like sequels and stuff like that, and sequels so like, I guess like so cemented in like the history of like those events, like. Yeah, dude, you know, it's kind of important to touch on, you know, like, hey, man, I just had some random ass gladiator fight the emperor and stab him in the neck, you know, and just left him to bleed out. So, like, we're just going to say that didn't happen or what?
Yeah, it was pretty wild, man. There's a lot of cool stuff like that in this movie, too, where they have, like, all of these, like, sacrificial deaths and all this stuff. Like, it's just a good movie. It's just a good, manly fucking Coliseum like warrior movie, so most definitely something to check out. But yeah, like I said, guys, I would say like a high 6, 7 maybe. If you're having a good night and you want to get some Whataburger and chill out and just fucking watch a good movie, like Gladiator 2, baby. Gladiator 2. Honors to the last part of the conversation. Huh?
Just microdose.
Microdose some mushrooms and get going, boys. Honors to the last part of the conversation. Brian, I don't know if you had an opportunity to really check this out or took our word for it, but you owe me one, man. You got to sit down and watch this because I did the Penguin and I did Agatha. You got to owe me one. Okay, Brian?
I'll think about it.
All right. But Trigger and I both had the opportunity to see this because I asked him before I watched it, but I don't know if you got to see it all the way to the end or whatnot. But last part of the conversation, season finale of Arcane season 2 has finally come to an end. What a fucking masterpiece and what a ride. That show was like top notch, guys. Like in my opinion, 9 out of 5, 9.5 out of 9 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like it was way up there. I think the animation, the storytelling, the action sequences better than even the Spider-Verse movie, the original one. Arcane, hands down, season 1 to season 2. Amazing. Just amazing. Triggs, did you get the opportunity to watch it and how far did you get? Brian, did you get to watch any of it?
No, I did not get a chance to watch.
Okay. Well, I know you could probably ask us questions in a bit, but you're probably going to chill out this one, but Triggs,
I unfortunately didn't get too far. I'm right now trying to catch up on Cobra Kai. Yeah.
Oh,
Cobra Kai. Yeah. Cobra Kai is kind of like my Netflix series that I need to finish.
Okay. So how far did you get on Arcane then?
Like 1 episode in. Like I was just like,
2?
Yeah, but like I'm not gonna front with you, dude. I was fucking annihilated when I saw it. I was like,
you were fucking drunk out of your mind, or what?
Oh, dude, look, man. Here, you know what? I'm starting this thing where I'm amassing a lot of bottles, right? But I'm trying not to drink them. So what I do is I get a handle of Kentucky Deluxe for $13 and I drink that instead, so I don't touch my good bottles. Brian, you are a bartender. Do you know about green and yellow chartreuse?
I do.
Do you know how hard it is to find those?
I do.
I have a bottle of each.
How'd you pull that off?
I found them.
It's this time of year that you're able to get them.
Yep, they're in rotation right now, and I found a bottle of each. I paid about $150 for both.
Yikes! What the fuck are you gonna do with them? Are you just gonna?
It's gonna just watch them, dude.
You're just gonna look at
pretty
them?
much.
You can't. really make any good cocktails with them. It kind of sucks, and that it's just good to have.
No,
But
I mean, I can make a last word. I need to get a good gin though. I need a good floral gin for a last word. I do want to play. I do want to use it to make a play on a gin fizz though.
okay.
What the fuck
Yeah.
are you guys talking about? I don't even know.
Well, this is bartender stuff. You're not
I was
in
like,
this.
I don't understand.
You're not in this.
Ignore me, dude. I don't know what the fuck you're talking
No.
about, dude. What
But
fill me in, boys.
so yellow and green chartreuse are very, very like once a year, twice a year kind of bottles that you can find kind of like out in the wild. Reason being is because they're made in the Chartreuse Mountains of France, and they're made at a distillery by these monks. And these monks decided a couple years back that they're going to slow down production a lot because that like the general population was just using too much of it. So they're like, now you guys are going to only have a finite amount every year, and that's it. So the fact that I have bottles like then that they're out in rotation, and even in this area, for me is like finding a fucking unicorn. And the fact that I found two and have one of each to me is just like, oh my god, can't believe I did it. And yeah, I paid about $70 for each bottle, and I had to get them separately, but I got them and I have them, and I look at them every day. And right now I'm getting a big bourbon like collection going on. There's a really, really good Texas distillery down here called Balcones, and I love pot still bourbon. And I'm about halfway through my actual pot still, but I have a brimstone, which is more oakier. Anyway, I'm gonna drink. I was drinking that, and I was on my KD shit and watching Arcane, and yeah, dude, I was like,
you got fucking toasted.
Oh, dude, there was toasted, and then there was what I was.
Oh God, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I was fucking annihilated, bro. Just like
that's crazy. That's fun.
This is good shit.
Well,
I love Haley Steinfeld.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like,
yeah, you were gone.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take the reins on this. So, Arcane season 2 came through, establishing the story of what was going to happen with Jinx, Vi, and Echo. Of course, with Singe and Heimerdinger and all the different characters that were established in the first one, Chase, Victor, of course, and all the characters got such great character development in the second season. Victor is this main character that is imbued with this kind of like a magic science that's called Hex Tech. And it kind of like organically fused to his body, which starts to introduce like a lot of like different psychological aspects to his character. He's a very, very intense character. Like when it comes to like how he wants to use Hex Tech to fix the world, but he ends up becoming very imperialistic. He ends up getting to a position where he's like, well, if I just use the magic and the control, and I just control everyone with Hex Tech, then people won't have to worry about making decisions for themselves. And he ends up kind of like, well, I can, cure diseases and make people immortal, but they just have to give up free will. And that's literally what the whole story is about. And of course, like there's all the different dynamic of like partners, sticking together, brothers and sisters, father and daughters, boyfriends and girlfriends, and best friends sticking together through all the different aspect. Like the story is, bro, I'll fucking straight up admit it. There's times where I have not watched something in a while that has made me like tear up. And season 1 and season 2 of Arcane has got me like all fucked up with emotions in certain parts. And the story is just fantastic, and the art is amazing. Brian, I've told you this a million times. Season 1 is such a masterpiece, and I think that you would really enjoy it if you watched it. But knowing that season 2 is out and it's coming to an end, this is the last run for the Arcane series in general. There will not be an Arcane after this. But this does give really big opportunities for them to do side stories and build on the world. If you haven't had the opportunity to watch anything that League of Legends has done cinematically within the last 10 years, you are missing the fuck out. They're amazing at making videos and music and trailers and everything. And Worlds is is one of the biggest esports tournaments in the world. So they put a fuckload of money behind it. A fuckload of money behind the production of all this stuff. Highly recommended. If you guys haven't had the opportunity, Arcane season 2 is by far one of the best animations and just stories I've seen in a very, very long time. I'll tell you this, like I praised earlier the Penguin, and I think Arcane is way better than it. Like I think Arcane is way better than the Penguin series. They intrigue because where the Penguin does with like a handful of like 4 or 5 characters, Arcane does with every character it establishes. Like every person, you're kind of like you just invest in every one of them, and they take characters in such fucking crazy formats. You look at Jinx in the first character, like Triggs. Did you see the first season of Arcane?
Yes.
So the first season of Arcane, we look at Jinx and we're like, man, Jinx is a stupid bitch. Like, fuck that asshole or whatever. In season 2, you're like, I love this person. Like, they're such a great hero. Like, I can understand why they call them a champion. And you're kind of like, the fuck? Like, I didn't get that anyway in season 1. Like, she's just a huge piece of shit in season 1. Just everything about her. Vi's actually the fucking MVP in this first season.
But yeah, and then in second season, it's very like different. Like their roles have changed essentially in both of these.
Yeah,
and I always thought that was weird.
Yeah, it pays off so well in the end. The story of Warwick and Vander, which is the father figure, is super fucking amazing. The Jinx Vi story, the Echo Jinx story. Like everything pays off in such a beautiful format, and I highly recommend it. And Brian, I'm going to cash in this one on you, and I'm going to say I want you to watch it, man. I got to get you to watch it in some way, but for sure, totally worth it. Highly recommended. Triggs, with the first episode that you saw, because the first episode hits the ground running. Like, was there anything that you saw in the first? Oh, well, you were fucking hammered shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna remember shit. You'll just be
like, I remember onesies and twosies.
Yeah. What do you remember from the first episode? Like, what is it that you kind of like formatally remember?
Yes.
Yeah. You see, I fucking tell you. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean,
you put me on the spot here, man. You know, hold on.
Yeah. But good. So, Brian, let me ask you one thing. Like, I know you haven't seen it. I know it's something that you really haven't looked into. But out of the stuff that you've seen for Arcane in all formats, like, is anything about it? Does any of it interest you?
The animation,
Okay.
it's probably it. To me, I kind of correlated as if like Fortnite got an animated series.
No.
Yeah.
Basically
like in some aspects, yes.
It's basically like I'll get around to it. It's just not something that piques my interest, only because I'm not a big fan of the game. So I don't have that interest, that peak, you know? So I mean, listen, I will definitely get around to it. It looks beautiful. Just the animation alone will get me to watch it. It's just there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of content out here, man. Like a lot.
Yeah.
And everyone's gonna gear towards the things that, you know, that piques their interest. It's just that Arcane isn't one of them for me. I will get around to it once I'm done watching all the things that, you know, I have on top of my list, and I will get around to it. I will give you that. I'll give you my word that I will eventually get around to it.
That would be really, really good. To let you know truth, I'm not a big fan of the video game. I hate that type of gameplay. But again, like,
yeah, and I was gonna comment on that earlier, and
I hate that fucking game.
I was like, dude, are you even a League player, like at all?
No,
like,
I wouldn't waste my fucking time on that guy. I wouldn't piss on it if it was on fire, dude. That's
why I was just like, you know, like this show is so left field for you that like, it's like if a League player was like, I watched The Last of Us, and this is, I get it. I get it. Why, you know, blah blah blah. But yeah, dude, for me, that's why I was just like, dude, this is very, very out of pocket for you, because like you are not a League player, like, and I didn't ever see you as one, and so I mean, good on the show for at least enticing a new kind of audience, right? Because you are not the target audience.
Yeah, fuck. I'm not gonna. This is not
yeah.
intriguing me at all to be like, dude, I'm gonna play League. Fuck that game, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck all that game. I hate that shit. But goddamn, this show was good. I'm a big lore guy. You know what I mean? And this really dynamically changed the way I look at the fucking video game. But again, I'm a big fan of their music. Their music is 100% too. Like Imagine Dragons, Ali G, or what's her name? What's that chick's name? Allison Bear. There's a bunch of fucking singers that do such amazing job. JID, he's on one of their albums. Yeah, I'm very supportive of their animation series. Like when it comes to all their cinematics, it's super worth it. Inspiring too when it comes to like the songs that they sing about. So seeing that they made an animation in the form on the way they made the video Rise, even that's what really intrigued me the most. So yeah, Brian, just to let you know, I'm not even I hate that fucking game.
Okay.
So yeah, but the animation and the story is, man, dude, the storytelling is so fucking good, man. But highly recommended. If you guys get an opportunity, make sure you guys go check out Arcane. Arcane season 1 is out, and Arcane the full season out is 2. There's no more that's coming after this. Apparently, the Arcane series is going to end. This will build into the different parts of the universe. Apparently, the video game has like 169 champions, so it has literally like 160 characters that they could still base into the stories. And again, if you guys ever have an opportunity, there's people online that have YouTube channels that are all based on the cinematics. Go check it out. Highly recommend the League of Legends video or song called Rise. I think it's one of the most badass animated music videos ever in history. Go check it out. But yeah, guys, Arcane season 2 is out. Make sure you go watch it. Highly recommended. Fucking masterpiece. Boys, what else do we got this week? What else you got? What else you got? Just got coming
this week. I mean, other than Thanksgiving, I mean, I have a full week of work, my guy. I know, man. It's shitty. But
Right, what about you, man? What do you got planned for Thanksgiving, man?
I usually have my daughter, and we'll probably go to a couple of friends' house. Just gearing up for that. Probably head out to Arizona for Christmas, and that's it. That's all I got on my plate. Just got home from Mexico.
Cancun,
so,
baby.
Yeah, just trying to settle in from that.
How did that go?
It. Went great, man. Went great.
Was it like? Tell us about it. Tell us how was the flight? What was Cancun like?
So it was a 4.5-hour flight. Wasn't that bad. Went there for my sister's wedding. We were at a all-inclusive resort, which was humongous. First 2 days, weather was beautiful. Then it started raining. But we were right there,
as it would in Mexico.
We were right there on the Gulf, so the resort was right on the Gulf, so we could just walk out and walk onto the beach or whatever. So that was cool.
Oh, that's dope.
Went on like they had like a gondola ride for the whole like wedding trip and all that stuff, and really never had to leave the resort. They gave us like this little like electronic wristband or whatever, and it was free drinks and free food, and it's fucking awesome, man. Loved it.
So it was open bar?
Open bar, man. Open bar. And it wasn't like the cheap shit either. They had maybe like, I want to say about 7 restaurants on location. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. So like you had the resort and then that was it. So we had like there was like Don Julio and all types of whiskey and bourbon and beers and wine, everything. Just you can just do your thing. So there's a bunch of fucking drunk people running around a resort in Cancun, and it was really nice though. Really nice. So the hotel rooms were nice. Yeah, I would highly recommend getting to Cabo if you ever get a chance.
Anybody that's out there, Brian, did you get to take like photos and videos and shit? They can go check it out on your Facebook and Instagram and stuff.
No. So this trip, I was kind of
enjoying yourself.
I was just enjoying myself. Yeah, I think I
living in the moment.
I was living in the moment. Normally, I would take a lot of videos and stuff, but I really just wanted to enjoy it. I got a a lot of things that are going to be changing in the near future. So I just spent the majority of my time just living in the present and not being on my phone as much. I really didn't have my phone the entire time, to be honest with you. So I left my room. I left my phone in the room and just went out and just enjoyed it.
Wow.
It was great weather. The weather over here is sucks. So it was good just to be out there on the beach and yeah, man.
How
That's
was the
fucking
weather
awesome,
out there, man? Like what was the temperature like? In contrast to like where you're at right now.
So where I'm at right now, the weather's dropping. It's raining season. It's just shitty
It's
out
multi, right?
there. Yeah, out there it was like 80, 75, 80 to me, at this time of year. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first 2 days was nothing but sunshine. The room that I had a balcony with a hammock, and I was just sitting out there the entire time,
Sheesh.
enjoying myself. And again,
Man, that's some good Don Julio and chill
24
weather,
hour
dog.
24-hour room service, so whenever you get that
Sheesh.
that that
Yeah.
that drunk face, you can just go order food. I actually had to dust off my Spanish, so I had to order in Spanish and all that shit, so that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
uh
Man,
yeah, man. And then they have like
talking
a
into that Siri, huh? Is, hey yo, say
yeah,
I want
yeah,
some
absolutely.
eggs.
And then fucking and then you get like a full mini bar that gets restocked every day.
Damn,
um
dude.
it was good, man. I had a good time.
Well, that's good, man. I know that you and I talk like maybe a week before, and how just life catches up with us. And I know that this was probably much needed,
Absolutely.
pretty much, man. And that's so happy. I'm so happy for you, Brian. I'm so happy that you got the opportunity to go out there and travel and see just some beauty in the world, man.
Yeah.
And then to know that you were able to how man, that had to have been not hard, but like it's so kind of uncanny to be able to just like leave your phone in the room and just like go off and do your own thing.
Yeah, yeah. I actually had to force myself.
It's hard, right?
I had to force myself because I didn't want to be on the phone all the time. Because literally, once I touched down, off the flight, the airport that we got to had like this huge outdoor like cantina where they had like margaritas and all that stuff. I was like, you know what?
Right off the plane,
I'm
dude.
like, yo, I'm not gonna be on my phone for this. So like, and like everywhere I go, I always take pictures of like my drinks and my food. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that this time. Like, I really just wanted to recharge and not be on my phone and all that stuff. So yeah, man, it was fun. It was a good time.
Well, blessings, brother, man. Now you're back home, and now you got a whole, new set of batteries, and you're ready to get started on some fucking badass shit. And I know you're gonna do good, man.
Absolutely, thank you, sir.
I know you're gonna fucking do good. Triggs, Brian, I appreciate you guys so much. It's gonna be 10:30, and I think it's about that time, baby. It's about that
Yep.
time. Boys, we covered some good stuff today. Marvel, there's so many things going around, folks, for the Marvel universe. But bide your time, folks. Bide your time. Wait until it's official. Don't get hyped up on all the other stuff. There's a lot of people making videos about rumors and blah 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 and this and that. Just chill, man. Just chill. The Russo brothers are back. They're gonna make things happen. James Gunn, we got some stuff that's apparently going to be coming out soon for the DC universe, which we've been really, really waiting patiently for. And yeah, guys, what a great time. Don't forget, it's going to be Thanksgiving this week. We hope that every one of you gets the opportunity to spend time with your loved ones, family or friends, or whoever you decide to be with. We appreciate every one of you, and we're thankful for you guys. To all our extraordinary listeners, we appreciate every one of you for always tuning in with us. Don't forget to come in every Wednesday, chill out with us during the week. Hit us up, just hit us up on our social medias or our DMs or wherever you guys want to do it. If not, we have episodes archived all throughout all the podcasting stuff that you guys want to. And of course, we have our YouTube channel and stuff like that. If you guys would like to continue watching us on video, we appreciate every one of you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. Boys, I hope you boys are safe during the week. Don't do anything crazy. Don't do anything that I would do, because I would just get arrested. So let's not get arrested, huh, boys? And we hope that everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys again here next Sunday on the Average Boys podcast. What was that, Brian? I thought I heard Brian. I thought I heard Brian say something. But guys, I want to say thank you. Boys, stay your bites. Later, folks.
Peace.